Thank you. So, week one, okay. So for quiz, the portions are, as you know, it's weeks 1 to 4. So we do a quick recap of the concepts, and if you have any questions, we have already mentioned to you that we have tagged those questions and everything, which is there on the portal. In spite of that, if you have some questions, please wait until we finish this revision, and then if you still have any question, please go ahead and ask those. Okay. Okay. So first we start off with week one. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Hope this is visible. So yeah, it's visible,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Okay, so week one was mostly about, or in general, about programming concepts, right? So, sir starts off talking about programming languages, which we all know is something that we use to communicate. Uh, I mean, our human to machine interaction to facilitate that, we have these programming languages. And because there has to be somebody who translates, what we want to communicate and what the machine has to understand, we have the translators. Translators, we know there are two types that we generally know of. One is the compiler, and the other is the interpreter. So compilers are those which compile the full code in a single go and then start executing one after the other. The interpreters go line by line, starting from it loads one line into the main memory, executes it, and then of course it will be loaded. But then rather than compiling the full program and converting to machine code in a single go, it will go from one line, execute it, and then go to the next one, execute it, and so on. So that's what okay, translators. Yeah, that is the difference between these two. And we know that Java uses a compiler for converting into the bytecode or the intermediate, the class file, right? And then the interpreter that a language that uses interpreter is Python, which you are all quite familiar with. And then we go on to talk about uh, data types. So, why are data types required? So, the reason that we gave is to make some meaningful association or meaningful representation for the data which is stored in the memory. So, the data that is stored in the memory can be bits, right? It can either be a zero value or a one value. Just give me a minute. Let me just. One second. Yeah. So in the memory, we store these data as bits, right? Zeros and ones. So any string of sequence of bits, right? If it has to make sense, then we should know whether it actually represents a number or a string or an object or whatever, right? So for that, we have what are known as data types. So we have these primitive data types, which are like the int, float, double, all these which are recognized by the system itself, like provided by the Java, and it can be, it is actually, it knows like how much of memory locations does it need to store an int and float and everything. It is all kind of predefined and known ahead. We also have a user defined. So this is primitive, right? Now we have user defined data types. User defined data types is what defines say something which is specific to our application or specific to our use case, whatever we want to implement. Say if you want to implement, if you want to automate the payroll of a company, then you have to have types that will represent an account, an employee, manager, the salary. Even the salary could itself be a type, right? So you need the object oriented perspective, right? In an object oriented programming, the data being the center, like whatever is data related, you need to have a type associated with that. So in this perspective, like we define what are known as abstract data types. So before that, abstract, so abstract data types. So before going to that, yeah. So, as I was just mentioning, in this week we are talking about programming concepts and more specifically object-oriented programming. Right? So, in object-oriented programming, data is the key, or rather, it is data centric. So, as compared to what we have, or what possibly many of us are used to the C programming or wherever, we focus on the flow of what happens, like the functions, and that's kind of what decides the control. But in the case of object oriented programming, everything is kind of centered around data. So, your data is kind of the key, right? So, the main features of object-oriented programming, as Sir has given in the lectures that you have, is abstraction. Then you have typing, dynamic lookup, and then inheritance. Right? So from here is this abstraction, right? So what are abstract data types? So here you have a set of data along with the behavior. What is this data capable of doing, or rather what can be done on the, what operations are permitted on this data. Even for primitive data type, this is implicitly defined. Say for instance, the case of integers, we say that addition is permitted, multiplication is permitted, division is permitted, etc. But if you look at something like you want to take a substring of an integer, probably that is not permitted, right? So there are certain operations which are permitted on primitive data types. Same way, the abstract data types also have this data and behavior. So the abstraction comes at the level where the whoever has to do the programming, or whoever is the end user of these data types, does not have to know about the implementation. So the data in itself is private. Nobody needs to know about it. Along with that, what are the operations? Say for instance, you want to do, say, employee. Okay, you want to display the salary of an employee. Okay. So you have a method that does that. Okay, a method, or rather, there is a function that does that. You know that there is this method called display salary, which will display the salary, but you do not know what is there inside. So this, as well as whatever are the details about the employee, say private employee ID or whatever, these are also like not visible to you. Whatever is given by these methods, these we call as the interfaces. This is the interface that any programmer knows about this class. The programmer has access only to these classes, or rather these methods inside these classes. It does not have to know about the uh, this the variables as well as the implementation of these methods. So we say that there is something called as public interface, which is what the programmer or whoever is going to know about it, and there is a private implementation which is associated with the abstract data type. Okay, so this is the terminology: public interface and private implementation. This is the interface, the function header, or the definition, or rather, what has to be like the name of the method, or what you want to do is something that is clear, but how you do it is not necessarily known to you, or rather, you don't have to know about it. Okay, so that is the private implementation. Public interfaces, you know how to invoke. Say, for instance, you want to invoke the sort method, you should know based on using what can you sort it, or rather if you have this two string method that you would all probably aware of, like you should know that it is returning something, right? So even the whatever the return type is actually part of the interface. So unless you know that, you do not know what you want to receive. The, say you are returning something from the method, and what kind of variable can accept the value which was returned by this method, that's also part of the interface. So whatever is available to the programmer to make use of, right? So for instance, Java itself gives you a lot of packages. Each of these packages have different classes, and each of these classes have different methods. You need not know how these methods are implemented inside. So you have this sort method. You have even the println method, right? You have no idea how it is implemented. At least people have not explored, right? They would not know how it has been implemented. You simply assume that you can use it. And println, you can actually give an integer or a string or whatever. So there are various implementations for println which are available inside the default Java packages. So based on the parameter that you give, it will implement it. It will display the value, even if it is integer or string or whatever. Right. So that is the interface. The interface that we are aware of is that the println method. Right. This is the spelling of the println. This is, you can give something inside and it will get printed. Of course, that whatever is there before that, that is definitely we should know. But inside how it is done, it is not known to you, which is a private implementation. Okay. So this is about the abstraction part of it. Now the subtyping. The subtyping is something that Say for instance, you have, so subtyping basically what it means is that, see, if something is a subtype of, say, um, so the example that sir, not example, the statement that sir has given, see, A is a subtype of B. Okay, A is a subtype of B. Then wherever you need to use B, you can use A also, because A has all the features of B along with having some additional features. Okay, so wherever you want to use B, you can use A also. The reverse may not be true. Say for instance, let us look at one example. Say if B is a matrix and A is a square matrix. Okay, so B is a subtype of A. All or you can, sir also mentioning, like, you think about it like the subset relationship, right? So the set of square matrices is a set of, subset of the set of matrices. Now what are the methods that you can, what are the behavior, what are the operations that you can perform on matrix? You can do addition, you can do multiplication, you can do find the transpose, all those things can be done for a matrix. But if you want to find a determinant, you can do it only on a square matrix. So you can do all these things plus the determinant. So this is a subtyping. Here what you are saying is that, okay, I have these capabilities, whatever the subtype has all the capabilities. It can add, it can multiply, it can transpose, it can find the determinant, everything, all these capabilities, some of which are obtained from the type from which it has gotten. So if A is a subtype of B, then there are certain interfaces, right? These are the capabilities. These are the things that can be done on a matrix. Now, when it comes to differentiating between subtyping and inheritance, I will come to that. But for now, you can just understand that if this is a subtype of this, then A has all the features. And so wherever you want to do addition, two additions, right? So suppose you have, say, there is an addition to be done between two matrices, you can use in square matrix also. But if there is a case where you have to find a determinant, then you cannot use any matrix. You have to specifically use a square matrix only. Okay, so this is the concept of subtyping. Sir has given the example using the deck and stack and queue and all that. So I don't know if there is any doubt in that. This is something that you can. So why there is a confusion is because if you already know Java, then there is a confusion, because in Java both the subtyping and inheritance are kind of handled in a in the that inheritance hierarchy, right? But you can actually differentiate between the two, because we say that here these interfaces is what we are establishing using the subtyping. So we say that with subtyping, what we are trying to establish a relationship of interfaces of what, interfaces of the subtype and the original type. So this has all these capabilities, right? This has these capabilities with these additional capabilities. So this is a relationship of interfaces. Okay. Now, the third property that we have is the dynamic lookup. So all of them are in a way related to the inheritance hierarchy in Java, but we have to understand these clearly, be able to differentiate it, even though the course wise, like from a course perspective, since we are looking at Java, it may all come to a same point. But at some point, if you have to use in some other language which has a different implementation of these both, then we should probably understand what is happening. Okay. So dynamic lookup is okay, so dynamic lookup is whether, um, so we have seen the case. Let me just take the case. So you have employee, say E equal to new employee, right? An employee E1 equal to new manager, manager E2, rather, I can put it as M also, right? So you have employee class here. I'm just skipping all the other things. So you have a public void show method here, and you have a manager class. which again has a public void show and a, sorry, and a public void display. Okay. Now, in this case, in the main method, you can actually invoke e dot show, right? Because then what will get executed? Can you tell me which method?
Employee show.
This one, right? Yeah.
Yep.
If I invoke e1 dot show,
Manager show.
this
Manager
show.
show.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is clear, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So if you have m dot show,
Manager
Same
show.
manager.
this is again manager show, right? Yeah. Correct. Okay. Now if you try to invoke e dot display, does it work?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
No.
E1 dot display, does it work?
Because
Yes, ma'am. It
No,
will work, ma'am.
E1 dot show is in show, right?
no, but e
So this show, correct?
ma'am.
Does
no,
this
but
work?
Ma'am, it shows
and
error that it is.
sorry, employee.
Sorry?
Display function is not there in employee.
But see, when we said e1 dot show, this was getting invoked, right? So when we say e1 dot
Yes, but
display,
at
why
compile
is this
time-
not getting exactly? So
Because
that
at
is
the
the
compile
Ma'am,
time.
because
Yeah.
At
Compile
com-
time error.
At compile
When it's a
time,
compiler
it
Yeah,
error,
will
I'll
not
come to
display
that.
in employee. Yep.
I'll come to that. Yeah, sure. M dot display, will this work?
yes, ma'am.
This will work and this will get executed. There is no confusion. So this is what is going to cause the problem. Here is where the distinction comes, because during compilation, okay, this association, whatever is here, right? This is the compile time type. That is a static type checking, is what we say. It's a static property. What all methods can be invoked on an object is a static property which is decided during compile time. So during compilation, this will check whether E1 has the capability to invoke. So E1 has the capability to invoke is checked from employee, not from the manager. So whatever is here, right? This is what is the runtime association is. Whatever is here is the compile time association. So during compilation, it will check whether the employee class has the display method defined inside it. If it is not there, even though even during runtime is an object of manager, you cannot invoke e1.display because during compile time it says okay, e1 is of reference type employee and it does not have the capability to invoke the method display. So this will give an error. Is this clear for everyone? This is all that is about dynamic lookup. And it comes in various, sorry?
Ma'am, can you explain E1 dot show?
E1.show.
Yes.
Is this what you want? Yeah. So even dot show during compile time, it will check whether employee has the capability. How does it check? It will check whether the employee class is the show method. It is there. This is the static property. Okay. But during runtime, even is, so you have this even here. Okay, even is, it is actually pointing to a manager object. During runtime, here whatever show method is there, that will get invoked. So compile time, it will check whether this E1 variable has the, or rather this variable, which reference type is it of, and that data type, does it have the method which is being invoked? It has that method. Here the employee has the show method, and therefore this will not cause any problem. But during runtime, it is the, it will invoke the show of a manager object. This is what is the dynamic lookup concept is. How the method, or which version of that method gets executed, or how the method behaves. I'm just coming to whoever is asking the doubt. Just give me a second. How the method is getting executed is decided during runtime, whereas whether the method can be invoked is decided during compile time. And compile time, whatever capability is there, depends on the type of the variable, and during runtime, which method to invoke will be taken from the whatever is it is a object of. What is there? Someone want to ask a question? Yeah, Millen, go ahead. Is left. Okay. Okay, so this is about the dynamic lookup. Now we have the fourth property,
Yeah,
which is
ma'am.
just
Yeah.
to reiterate just one thing, can you go a little bit up?
Yeah. Even further up?
No, this is good enough. So
Yeah.
when we were talking about the display functions on the right,
Huh.
e dot display is going to come across an error
Yeah, yeah.
even,
This
and
will also create an error.
I mean
This will
even the
definitely create an
compilation
error
won't be
because
there
this is
because
compilation error, clearly compilation error,
because
because
display is
it
not
does
there in
not
employee
even, yeah,
class.
this does not even know of the existence of the manager. See, even if we do not have manager class, this, I mean, this is a wrong, I mean, of course, that's not what yeah.
I
So
mean, no, I'm saying the error that will come for e dot display,
that will be
that
compile
will be
time.
first. Yes, it will be first hit because of the compilation at
Correct.
the compilation stage, because display method is not present in the employee class.
Correct.
And e1 dot display, it
For the same
will
reason only.
okay. E1
Same
dot display,
reason.
it's also for employee. Fine, fair
Same
enough. Now
reason. Yeah.
m dot display, it's your
M.dot display has nothing to do with employee. I mean, even if
it
this
is
was not
completely with the
extending,
manager.
yeah,
So yeah,
this is employee. Okay.
so
So
no error.
even if a manager was not extending employee, this would not have caused any error.
Okay, okay, okay.
This is just simple any class and any method inside the class. Yeah. Whoever is raising, yeah.
Punendu.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Punendu, yeah.
I'm using even how to display if I want to invoke a display method using even, then I have to typecast into the manager, right?
Mm,
Did you
you
get that?
mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
mean something like this, is it? Manager of,
Even yes, ma'am.
yeah, this should work, I think. I'm not sure. Anand, will this work?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So here, if display method is only present in the employee class, then it is okay, ma'am. If
No, no.
display method is already available in both the classes, no need to typecast like this.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
display method is only in manager, so we can do the typecasting and invoke it, correct?
But here typecasting is not required, ma'am. If it is in
No, no, it is
the
not an employee, it is only in manager. Then,
Display method
yeah,
is
yeah,
not
yeah. Yes,
in
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is
then
employee.
we
required.
typecast. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Ma'am, can you once explain clearly without clutter? I mean, it has just got cluttered.
What is your doubt?
Ma'am, the same thing. E1 and M, how it will take and what would it will take. If you can just reiterate, if you don't mind.
One second. So, is there anything specific you want to ask, or in?
In general, ma'am, nothing
Okay, so
specific.
you have e dot display. Okay, can you tell me what will happen with this e dot display?
Display will give an error because
Yeah,
display is not an employee.
correct. Yeah. How
Okay.
about e1 dot display?
E1 dot display employee E1 new manager.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, this is what I was trying to tell you about. E1 is actually of type employee, but during runtime, it will actually be pointing to an object of manager. So during compile time, what it does is it will check whether the employee class has this method. If it has this method, then it will just go ahead and during runtime, because it's an object of manager, it will invoke the display method inside the manager class.
Okay, so
Okay.
it will give a compile error because display method is not an employee, right?
Employee, yeah. Even though during runtime it's a manager object, during compile time, because employee class does not have the display method, it will invoke the, sorry, it will generate a compiler error.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have m dot display. This is just any other, just like any other class and any other method. This has nothing to do with employee. This is a manager class. It has a method display. It will just display. That's it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Ma'am,
this,
ma'am,
yeah,
to invoke display method of manager object for even object,
Hmm.
uh, do we have to write that manager even dot display, or before at the time of declaration of even itself, we have to typecast employee even as manager, typecast it new manager.
And
Uh,
that you can't do, right? You mean here manager is what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah, that won't be
This I don't think it works.
okay.
I have not tried it, but I don't think it works.
Okay, so for invoking this display method, we with even we
Hmm.
need to typecast it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we go to the next point. Okay, which is inheritance. So what inheritance does is say you have a class A which has say method 1, method 2, method 3, etc. And there is a class B which makes use of the method 2 as it is. This method 2 has a certain implementation which this is just going to reuse. This is what is inheritance is. It's actually making use of a certain set of properties or certain set of behavior which is already there for class A. This is inheriting certain methods from class A. It does not have to inherit all the methods from class A. It inherits a certain set of methods. Say for instance, you have two parents. You inherit certain set of your characteristics from one parent and certain set of characteristics from the other parent, right? So just like that, this type will inherit a certain set of methods from here. So here this is about implementation, reuse or relation reuse of implementations. So this is the difference between inheritance and subtyping. Okay. In the case of Java, everything is done using the implementation, the inheritance hierarchy, the extents, the implements, all these keywords we are using, right? So using that is what we are making use of the subtyping as well as the inheritance properties. However, these two are there is a distinct difference between the two aspects. One is the subtyping, as I've given the example of matrices, right? Here, the inheritance means that you have a certain method which is being reused. The implementation is being reused as it is, and that is what the inheritance is about. So we say that here the relationship between A and B, right? The relationship is that of implementations, not that of interfaces. It's not about the function signature or anything that we're talking about. We're not talking about the capability or anything, but you're actually reusing the whole implementation. So we say that this is the relationship between these two types is that a relationship of implementation. Okay, so this is the difference between subtyping and inheritance. Okay, now we go to okay. So now we go to something totally different. So we know of these variables, right? We have seen the. I mean, you would have known about variables starting from Python. So there is this variables which are kind of names for memory locations that we say. And when you are having a function execution, there are so many things that happens inside the memory. There's a lot of memory management processes that happen inside the operating system, right? So one of those main things is, say, for instance, consider this: you have a main function inside which you have a function called. This is calling f1. Okay, what am I doing? It's actually invoking method f1, and f1 okay is actually invoking f2, right? And then f2 is defined in a certain way. It has certain. What happens is you have what is known as a system. There is a system stack, you call it a stack of activation records. So for each method there is an activation record which is created, and when the main method is invoked, the activation record of main method is actually pushed inside the stack, right? Now when it reaches this function call, there are so many steps here, these get executed. When it reaches here, what it does is the control gets transferred to this method, and the activation record of function f1 is actually pushed inside the stack. Now it will keep on executing and it comes here, and then the control gets transferred to f2, the location where f2 starts from, and then you have the activation record of f2 which is transferred here. Okay, now you have uh, now let us see how does it an activation record looks like. Just give me a second. sorry. So you have yeah. So there is, let us see how the activation record looks like. Okay, you have an activation record for say main method. Now it has certain variables, right? Say for int x, you have declared say int x, y, etc. here, int x comma y. You have int x comma y here, and then you will have, I mean, values for x and values for y and all. If there are objects, say for instance you have employee e, right? So this will be pointing to somewhere in the heap. So these are all things that we have already explained and discussed. I'm just quickly going through that. So here is where the employee object, so employee object e resides, and this is actually pointing to that. And then you have what are known as um, return value link and control link. Okay. So once you have an activation record for this method pushed inside, right? You have F1 also F2. Now F2 finishes execution. What happens is it has to come back to this statement, right? So the control gets transferred back to the beginning of this activation record. It comes to F1. So the control link, I think I had mentioned earlier session that comes backs and points to this statement just after the F2 call. But all the textbooks say that the control link is actually pointing to the starting of the next activation record. So just take it for granted now. Let's not worry too much about the smaller things. So control link, every activation record will have a control link as to where it has to transfer the control back to. So this F2, it will say that okay, there is a control link here which will point to the activation record of the previous method, the function which has invoked the method F1. Okay. Now once it reaches here, it will start continuing the execution here, and once it finishes here, the control again gets transferred to here. So by then, once it comes back here at this point, right, this is popped out of this record, this activation record is popped out of the stack, and then the F1 also finishes execution. At that point, there is a control link here. This will be pointing to the activation record of main method, and this also gets popped off the, so this get popped off first, and then this get popped off. Once the main is also over, this is also popped out, and you can go for the next execution record. Okay. So this is the purpose of the control link. It points to the previous activation record. Now, what does the return value contain? So suppose this is a returning something int. Okay, so int a equal to f2. Now you are actually returning say some value 12 or something. Okay. Now once this returns this value, the f2 is popped out, right? What happens to the 12? Because this 12 was computed after some operation inside, and the f1 has to know this value. It has to be um, you have int a equal to f2. So this a has to be assigned the value which is returned from the function f2, right? So before f2 is popped out, the return value, whatever is the return value, right? That is actually, so again, this could be somewhere in the heap. I have a heap here already, so I'll just, sorry. Yeah, so whatever it wants to return, it will store somewhere here. Say this is where I'm going to, sorry. I missed it. So there is a return value link here, right? So here it will actually return that value. It will store the value 12 here. So by the time even after the F2 exits, F1 still knows where to look for the value that is returned by F2. F1 still knows where to look for the value that is returned by F2, and will go and fetch the value from there. So this link, this is a memory location, a pointer to a location in the heap. This is known as a return value link, where the link at which you can find the return value returned by the function which is returning this value. In this case, it is the F2 here. Okay, so these are the keywords which are related with respect to activation record. The return value link, the control link, the heap which contains the, okay, so during runtime is when these objects are created, right? So the dynamic allocation, the runtime allocation of objects happens in the heap. Whereas in the case of primitive data types like int, float, etc., where you know what is the size of the storage, they'll actually, those values are actually stored inside the stack itself. Whereas the values for which the size could be dynamic, right? For the employee or whatever, those are stored inside the heap, which is a dynamic memory allocation. So with dynamic memory allocation comes the challenges of freeing up the memory. So when F2 finishes execution, it's popped out of the stack, and this memory is free to be used. Whereas in the case of heap, this is returning the employee object. So this employee object E has to be available even after all the functions, like until maybe even main needs that. So this employee object has to be accessible. So, but once the main is also done execution, right? Main will get exited, but what about the objects which are stored in the heap? So for this, we have this process of garbage collection and memory, memory cleaning up of memory, which can happen in two ways. One is this manual deallocation, which you can do it programmatically, or there is also called as a garbage collection, which is done by the operating system. So these are all the techniques which are available for clearing up the heap. There are two other things that you should know. One is the scope versus the other is the lifetime of variables. So scope is nothing but the part of the program where a variable is available to be used. The lifetime is the duration of whenever do at the when all the duration or all the points of time at which a variable has been allocated memory. I will actually distinguish between the two using the same example. Say, for instance, you have a variable, say here, inside the main method, you have a variable, say int y. Okay. Now, when main method is being executed, say this is being executed, you can access method y. Say you can say that x equal to y into 2. This is possible, right? Whereas if you are inside F1, unless you've declared a new y, which is a totally different variable. It is not the same variable. This variable y is not accessible inside F1, right? The y is still allocated memory where it is here somewhere. The y is here somewhere, but when F1 is executed, the y is not accessible. So when F1 is executing, y is not in scope, but still is been allocated memory, so it is in its lifetime. Okay. So when main is being executed, y is in scope as well as it is during its lifetime, it is alive. Whereas F1 is executing, at that point, y is still allocated memory and is alive, but it is not in the scope because you cannot access it. So scope is when a variable can be accessed or invoked or whatever. Whereas lifetime is when a variable has been allocated memory. Okay. So as you can see, the variable which is always in scope are the variables inside the function which is currently being executed. Right? The function which is currently being executed is the variable which has in scope, and that will be the function which is always on top of the stack. So you can say that all the variables which are inside the activation record, which is on top of the stack, these are actually in scope. Whereas all the variables that are inside this stack, the stack of activation records, they are all in their lifetime because they have been allocated memory. So these variables are all in their lifetime, whereas only the ones which are on top of the stack are in their scope. So this is some distinction that you can make. Okay. Now, regarding classes and objects, I'll briefly mention and then I'll hand over to Nalini. She will address it more detail. So class is nothing but a template, okay, which provides, it will have the instance variables, the constructors, right, the methods, or maybe other classes, whatever. And this is not necessarily there in every programming language, but in general. Okay. Whereas an object is nothing but an instance of a class. Right? When you say an instance of a class, it's a class. It is a runtime object in the sense that it has been allocated memory. It is something that is allocated. Class is not allocated memory. It just says that if you want to create an object out of it, it will have this structure. That's what structure and capabilities. It will have this data, and these are the operations that can be done on the data. That's what a class basically defines. Because an object is an actual um, instance of that class, which has been which is allocated memory, and which can actually be used to perform the operations which are defined on that. So this is an instance of a class, and every object has its own copy of data. Say for instance, you have, say, class employee, right? So you have int employee ID, then string name. Then you have a constructor, say int I, comma, string name, right? Which will allocate which will initialize this, right? Something like name equal to n. So this is the constructor. We'll also have methods, say public void display name. Okay. Right. These are the methods inside. You can also have some private class. So this is basically the structure of a class. Now, for every object, it has its separate copy of data, in the sense that, say, if you declare employee E1 and employee E2, both of them have different data, unless you define that variable as static. In that case, static variables are for the class, not for the object. In that case, whatever value assigned from any object, it will be visible across all other objects also. So when these are not static, like non-static variables is what we generally have. So these, every copy of every object will have its own copy of data, which is yeah. So yeah. So that's about the week one. In short, okay, we'll just go ahead and we'll move on with week two and other contents. Okay, any questions so far? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a small doubt in the practice activity question of week two. The last question, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll come to that, Purnitu. We'll just, as I said in the beginning, we'll just go through the quick summary, and then at the end we'll take the questions. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Nalini, we'll just go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So week two, coming to week two, the first thing which we have seen in the slide is like how to write a class, how to define a class. And the thing is like here we will define the class name, and then so actually each when we are defining a class, we will first use this keyword class, and then followed by the class name. Yeah, then followed by the class name we will use, and then we will specify some this brackets, flavor brackets, like this is a block of code that belongs to this particular class. Okay, and then you can use access modifier before your class. If your class does not, if you are not specifying the access modifier to your class, like public, something like that, if you are not specifying that, then it will be like default. The class will be accessed default, like it will be accessible within the package. Okay, if you specify it as public, then the class is accessible even from outside the package also. Yeah, and the point of execution of code of every Java code begins from the main method. So this is the syntax of the main method, how we define the main method. This is like public static void main, and then followed by system.
Ma'am, can you
Like,
specify what about package? What did you say?
yeah, package is not that important now. Okay, because you, if yeah, if you say it as public, it is accessible anywhere. Yeah, for now you remember this. Yeah, because packages are not important for like week 1 to week 4, like for quiz 1 they are not important. Okay, so the point of execution starts from the main method. So whatever you write in the main method, that will be executed. Okay, the Java program is like collection of classes. You don't even find a single sentence, single statements outside your outside any class. Like everything must be enclosed in any class. all Java code lives within the class. And modifier public specifies the visibilities. That means public means it can be accessible from anywhere. If you specify something as public, it is accessible anywhere. Okay. The main method takes string array as input, like as parameter. This is, yeah. And this is the return type of the main method. Here we are specifying the return type of main method as void. That means it does not return anything. Okay. And Java code, like, we can write once and run anywhere, because, yeah, because Java is platform independent, no, because it has JVM. So that is like OS dependent, but your Java code is like platform independent. Okay. And coming to the what data types, we have like primitive data types. These are not objects, these are just defined inside the Java. These are primitives, and they are like 8 primitive scalars. Int, long, short, and byte, they represents what, normal decimal numbers, whereas float and double holds fractional points, like, yeah, fractional point, let's like 1.2 or something, like some fractional points. And character is like to this, by using this, yeah, it stores single characters. And boolean takes only two values, like true and true false. Okay, how to declare the variables? So we can declare the variables by specifying the type of the variable first, and then followed by its variable name, x comma y. That means x and y are integers. Int x comma y represents, these are variables of type int. And later you can assign values. This is declaration of the variables, whereas x equal to 5 and y equal to 10, this is assignment of values to your variables. Characters are
Ma'am,
written with
ma'am,
single
question
quotes.
here.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we assign the values in one line only while declaring?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Can you please take
That is,
example,
yeah.
ma'am, of this thing, ma'am?
And int x equal to 5 comma y equal to 10 or something, you can say. I think it was all okay. Okay, I will say. So you can assign at the time, you can assign values at the time of declaration itself. Int x equal to 5 comma y, you can do, that means x value is 5. Okay, you can say int x comma y equal to 10. Here y value is 10, x value you have not initialized. Okay, this is like initialization at the time of declaration of the variables itself. Is it clear?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, can I give you example, ma'am? So it's more
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, yes,
Okay,
yeah.
suppose if I define a string array, okay, string
Oh,
array
okay,
str1,
okay.
okay, comma str2,
uh,
okay,
okay.
yeah, str1, comma
Mm,
str2, okay,
okay.
equal to
Mm.
in the curly braces you can give some 2 3 values like apple, banana kind of thing
Okay,
is there.
okay, 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 some
I think we
strings.
have example in activity question there. Yeah.
Okay. Here's XTR is initialized to 2, 3, but STR1 you have not initialized. Okay.
So we have to whatever whenever we want to assign this thing. So string array str1 then equal to, then we have to put the
Yeah,
values kind
yes,
of thing.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Here x equal to 5. That means x value is assigned to 5, but y you have not initialized. Okay. Y is not initialized. Here also same, x you have not initialized, but only y you have initialized. Same thing for array also. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Is it clear now? Yeah. Yeah. The characters are written with single quotes. Okay. Boolean constants are true false. It takes booleans are like true and false only. And yeah, that means this is same, like here you are initializing at the time of declaration itself. Char c equal to x, that means you are initializing at the time of declaration. Here what you are doing, boolean b1 comma b2, that means you are specifying b1 and b2 are of type boolean, and later in the statement b1 equal to false and b2 equal to true, that means you are setting values to b1 and b2. Okay, this is the example, like initialize at the time of declaration. Float pi equal to 3.14 f, this means you are initialize this variable float pi value to 3.14, and simultaneously you have also what, declared and initialized, right? Modify, how to specify constants. If something is, some value is constant throughout your program, then you can say, specify like final keyword before that variable that indicates that it is a constant. Final, it's followed by its data type and then the variable name, then you can assign its value, so it will remain constant throughout your program. It is like constant if you make it as final. Yeah, you can have final functions also, final methods also. That means if the methods are final, then you should not override that methods in your child class. Okay. And similar to any other language, Java also has arithmetic operators like addition, subtraction. This is plus, minus, star, and this slash and this modulo. This represents addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus operation, and no separate integer division operation like this double slash. So instead, if you say, if you give two integers, so if you give two integers, if x and y are like integers, if x and y are integers, if you say x divided by y, then it will return int only. The answer will be int value only. If let's say 5 by 3, then answer will be 1 only. Here it will return 1. If you say 5.0 by 3.33, then answer will be like 1.0. So if you give two integers, then the return then the value will be int only. The
Ma'am,
answer will be, yeah.
ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay.
If I declare a variable int
Mm,
I and
mm.
give its value as 5.0,
Okay.
so I value
Int 5, int
int I
uh,
I
equal to
is
5, equal to,
5.0.
yeah, int here you are you are specifying I as int, but you are giving some fractional, this the 5.0 something point, you should not give. You
Ma'am, this
should
will be
say
type
only,
error, right?
yeah, it won't work. Yes, yeah, it won't work. Yeah. Yes, it will give type error because integer cannot hold this fractional values, double value. Basically 5.0 is double value. If you specify 5.0f, that means it is floating point.
So
Okay.
5.0 divided by 3, uh, why will
Yeah,
it become int? It will become
5.8.
double.
Yeah, I'm saying 5.0 by 3 is 1.0 and 5 by 3 is 1. 5 by 3 is 1 and 5.0 by 3 is 1.0. I have
Uh,
written, no?
it should be 1.66.
Actually, it will give the coefficient value, right? It will be the coefficient value. It won't give the reminder thing.
Okay.
See, if you do normal,
This I understood. 5 by 3 is equal to 1. I
okay,
understood.
okay,
But,
let us
but
check.
5
Okay, let us check.
5.0 is double.
Oh,
So when we are using one double, the answer should be in double, and
yeah,
1.66
answer
is
is
double.
double. Yeah, we'll check the value also once. Yeah, just for your clarification also. So if I specify system.out.println of some 5.0 divided by 3, then we'll see the what will be the answer. Okay, yeah, it is giving the complete what value. I
Ma'am, if
Yeah,
we specify it to int I equals to 5.0 divided by 3, then it should,
int
yes.
int I equal to 5. That won't happen, no, because yeah, actually the return value of 5.0 by 3, 5.0 by 3 is double. So you cannot store that into integer. If you want to store, then you have to typecast it to int. Then only it will work. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
got
Okay.
confused, ma'am. Here,
Where
ma'am.
you got
Can you
confused?
explain?
Can you tell?
Just now said, no, like
Okay, I will show
we have
that.
to
So
type
if
this
you
thing.
are telling, if you mention only int I equal to 5.0 by 3, then actually 5.0 by 3 we have already seen, no, what it is giving, some double value 1.667, that coefficient value. Okay, some this is like double value it is giving. But if you're trying it to store in int, you will get like error, because here you cannot store double value in integer because double memory size is larger, no, you cannot store in integer value. So incompatible type, possible logic conversion from double to int, because the return here 5.0 by 3 answer is like double value, so you cannot store into integer. But you can, what you can do, if you wanted to store into integer, you can just say int. You can typecast it back to integer, then it will work. At the time
Ma'am,
you will get only one. Yeah.
ma'am, here just one clarification.
Yes.
This typecasting will convert 5.0 into integer, or the complete 5.0 divided by 3 into integer.
Whatever the output which were, so if I say here, if I mention here some,
5.2 divided by 3, ma'am.
yeah, 5.0 divided by,
It will typecast the complete 5.0 divided by 3 as an integer, not just 5.0 as an integer. Am I correct?
yes, the operation whatever we are performing, the value which we get, that we are typecasting it to integer.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's check it by putting, like, instead of doing 5.0 by 3, let's do 5 by 3.0.
Okay, 5 by 3.0, that also you can see.
It will also give one.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, that means you have to do this, that means, okay, sorry. Yeah, that means you have to do this then. Uh, Basically 5.0 only is converted to int previous, in the previous case. But if you give some, if you specify the value of integer division you wanted to make, then you can use brackets and you can specify
Ma'am, in this example, then it will converting the whole final value into the integer, right?
integer. Yeah, if I do this, yeah, previously what we have seen is like, yeah, so instead of that, if you are giving some double value, you can make it this as integer and you can do, then also you will get 5.
1.
That means 3 is, yeah, that's all. Okay. Okay, the basically the thing is here, if you give two ints, then the answer will be integer. The division operation will give integer division. If you give two if any one of them is float or any one of them is some fractional point, it will give that as output double, or in, yeah, there is no separate integer division. If you give two integers, then integer division will happen. Okay. Yeah, so instead of this star star operation in Python, you should use math.pow in order to find the power. Like, okay, if you wanted to find a raised to n, then you should say math.pow of a comma n, that will give the value of a raised to n. Yeah, someone please can you mute? Okay. Okay, special operators for incrementing and decrementing. So plus plus is same as a plus plus. If I say a plus plus, then a value will be incremented by 1. If I say b minus minus, then b value will be decremented by 1. So this is, instead of saying a equal to a plus 1, you can say a plus plus. Instead of same b equal to b minus 1, you can use b minus minus. And shortcut for updating variables, there is like a plus equal to 7 is same as a equal to a plus 7. So instead of writing a equal to a plus 7, you can just say a plus equal to 7. That means the value of a will be what? 7 will be added to value of a. Yeah.
Ma'am,
So
if I
mm,
say a equal to plus
plus
b,
7. Okay,
no,
a
no, no, no,
equal
no,
to
no. A equal to
plus
plus
b.
b. Yeah.
Then,
So
so
what we
if b, yeah,
hmm?
if B is like, if B is like, okay, 2, then if you say A equal to B, that means A equal to plus 2, then A value will be 2 only. Okay.
Ma'am, but how this is like because we're using
Okay, I
plus
will show
pairs.
example.
Yeah,
I will.
this is kind of variable notation,
Plus,
I can ma'am.
okay, what is the your confusion basically? You thought like
Yeah, kind of addition like existing
A,
adding, yeah,
A
adding plus
equal to
yeah,
A plus 2 will
correct.
happen, you thought.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
that's what
B,
I
A
was
equal
thinking.
to, that won't happen because this is assignment only, no? A equal to some value you are telling here. See, if I say x equal to 2, that means 2 will be assigned to x. Here A
Yes,
equal
ma'am.
to plus B means whatever the value of B, that will be assigned to A.
Ma'am, it's some kind of exception, ma'am. So we should remember this notation. This is not a generic one
And
actually.
no, see, instead of saying A equal to 2, you are saying A equal to plus 2, that's all. You are just specifying the sign also here, sign of the variable. But this is different, no? A plus equal to 7, plus operator is coming first and then followed by equal to. Here A equal to some value you are telling. Here A equal to plus B.
Ma'am, this plus
Yeah,
after the equal to sign becomes the unary operator.
becomes the unary operator. Yes.
And what does
So this is
equal,
bas-
ma'am? What
yeah.
does equal to plus do?
Equal to, see, so if you say equal to is assignment operator, no? If you say something as like x equal to 2, that means 2 will be assigned to x. This is equal to is assignment operator. So here plus b is something, plus b is like whatever the value of b you are saying. So you have plus 2 minus 2, same. Similarly, if you say plus b, that means you are specifying the sign of variable specifically.
Positive, like.
Yeah, positive. Yeah, it is like positive.
Hello, ma'am.
So if you are, yeah,
Ma'am, can we write A is equal to minus B?
yeah, you can write A equal to minus B also. If A value if B value is 2, then minus 2 will be assigned to A. I will show that. Yeah,
Okay, ma'am.
if you say, yeah, if you have int B comma A, B I will initialize here as 2, and then I have A. Okay, sorry, and then I have A. If I say here A equal to minus B, that means I am assigning minus B value to A. What will be the value of A? It will be minus 2. It will be minus 2. Okay. If I say plus B plus 2, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
If I say plus B here, then it will value will be 2. 2 only.
Ma'am, plus value, ma'am, ma'am, plus,
So
ma'am, 1 minute, ma'am. Plus operator is showing about the sign, whether it will be.
yes, it is like positive integer or negative integer. It is just a sign, unary operator. If I say minus 2 also, then A will be assigned. The what will be the value of A? Minus 2 only, no? Okay. Okay, is it clear? So plus and minus are basically unary operator that indicates the sign. So okay, so you know, right? Plus of minus something. This operations you must be familiar with in max. So if you have
Yes,
minus of minus, then it will be become plus. If you have plus of minus, then it will be minus only. Same thing happens here also. This will be 2 and this will be minus 2, and here you, if you have plus plus, then it will be 2. Yeah, the same thing happens here also. Yeah. Okay, minus of plus 2 is 2, minus 2. Okay, if you have 2 minus minus, then it will happen integer, like addition. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Here basically A equal to plus 2 or A equal to plus B, that means this is sign of that B. like you are saying that that is the sign unary operator, either minus n plus a unary operator that indicates is used to indicate your sign. Okay, here but a plus equal to 7 indicates like this is like same as a equal to a plus 7. This is shortcut notation. Okay, strings are built in class in Java, and strings are not array of characters, so you should be careful. Like s of 0, like string s equal to hello and then t equal to world, you have specified. No, if you cannot access like s of 0, you cannot tell, like because they are not array of characters. So instead you have some methods to access it, that is like s dot caret will give whatever the character at that specific index. So if you mention 0, the character at 0th index it will return. If you mention it as 1, then e will be written. So yeah, they are not array of characters, so you should use some methods which are built-in methods in here. So you can just access it by index using s dot caret, that method. And there like, and you can use the substring also. So 0 comma 3, you are saying no, s dot substring of 0 comma 3. So basically, okay, our s is hello, no, so what will be written? 0 1 2, so hel will be written. So whatever the index, the starting index to this ending index minus 1, those values will be returned, like s dot substring, the that value will, this it will return this. That means from starting index, beginning index to the ending index minus 1 value will be returned, and that is a string only. Here it will be character. Okay. And similar, yeah, concatenation you can do, string concatenation you can do by using this plus operator. Yeah, is this clear about strings?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, arrays are also objects. Their arrays are also objects similar to strings. Yeah, arrays are also objects similar to string. And the declaration, like similarly, like you will declare the strings by saying string s equal to some value, right? Some hello or something. This is like initialization at the time of declaration itself, or just you can initialize string s, string t, something like that, and later you can, here you can declare, and then later you can initialize, no, to some value high or something. So same here also, this is declaration, this everything is declaration itself. Int array a, and here you are allocating memory, you are saying the size of your array. A equal to new int of 100, that means the like memory for this 100 int value will be assigned after saying this a equal to int array. So you can use like this notation, integer array, this square brackets followed by a, or you can say int a followed by square brackets. So anything, whatever you prefer, you can use. You can say both are same, like both represents array, integer array. So in order to access the length of your array, you will say a dot length, that gives the size of your array. uh, in order to access the length of your string, you will say s dot length of, that is method. This is method for strings, but this is like variable, instance variable for arrays. So a dot length will give the size of your array, that means how many, whatever the elements, how many elements you have in your array, that will be give. Here you will, you have specified its size as 100, no, so it will return 100. And so arrays are like, you can use index to access the elements of your array. So starting index is 0 and the ending index is length minus 1. So the start a of 0, you can say that will give the starting element of your array. A of 99, it will give the last element of your array. That's all about the arrays. And then yeah, so similar to any other languages, you have if else, so to perform conditional execution. But if you have multiple conditions to check for, at the time you can use switch. And then you have like while, do while, and for loops for iterating. Okay, I think this will be like clear. No, you have done this in Python also. So just for iterating you have while and for, and to in order to check for some condition you have if else and switch. So you know, right, how switch works. uh, so switch off some I, if I say, and then it will have some cases, case 1 or some case 2, whatever I which you give int. So if you say int I, so you should give integers. If you say char or something, that will take only characters, case 2 something like that, if I give integers. And yeah, you can check whether whatever the condition, like whatever the int value, if you pass 1, then the first case will be executed. And whatever the statements, if you want to print something, so if I want to print some one, then it will be printed. And then you can just, there will be like, if you have break, then it will come out, like nothing will be executed. But if you don't have this break statement, the other cases also will get executed. Print of 2, if there is print of 2, then 2 also will be executed if break is not there. So if I pass like 1 while calling this, if I pass 1, so what happens is like the first case will be executed, that means 1 will be printed. And if there is no break statement, here there is no break statement, then 2 also will get executed. Yeah, so whatever the cases, all the cases will be executed, still it sees break statement. Okay, if you are, whatever the value, if you are not, if you pass that is not matching, then the default case will be executed. There will be default also. So yeah, that will be executed. If whatever the value which is not matching, you pass, that is not matching to any of the cases, then the default one is executed and then it will come out. Okay, you the classes, then coming to the classes and objects. So classes are template, that means you will have like instance variables and some methods. You will have data and also some methods, like in order to access that instance variable and whatever the operations you can perform on that instance variables, that methods you can have in a class. So here, so previously we have seen, no, class, how to define a class. You first specify the keyword class and then followed by the class name, and then you can use some access modifier also, public or something, any access modifier you can give. And these are like instance variables, day, month, year, these are instance variables of type integer. And you can specify the what access modifier, like private or public, you can specify whether to restrict it more. Like if you wanted to access the instance variables only within the class, then you should specify it as private. If you wanted to access it from anywhere, then you can use public access modifier here. And then you will have constructor. So constructor function is basically to initialize the instance variables. So constructor will have the same name as your class name. So here date, and this also date constructor name also has same name as your class name. And it is a special method. Why we are calling it as special method? Because it is taking some arguments, here int d, int m, and int y. Because it is taking some arguments, it is similar to a method which has some name, and also it is like taking some arguments. That is why we call it a special method. And here the constructor does not have, here will not have any return type. It won't perform any operation, it will just assign values to your instance variables, that's all. So it does not have any return type, constructor does not have any return type. And you will have accessor methods. So by using the accessor methods, you can access your instance variables. So if I say public int get day, and if you can return day, that means it is used to access this instance variable day. Okay, each concrete object, so each object will have its own this instance variables. So if you have date d1, So if you have date object D1 and date object D2, same date object D2, instance variable will be different for, like, they will have day, month and year as instance variable, but the values will be different. Like you can assign it to 12, 13, 14 or something. You can change the value to it some value like 10. Here also you can have some values 2, 3, 4, some values. So by changing d1 to some 10, it won't affect in d2. That means each object will have its own local copy. So changing the instance variable of one object doesn't affect the other objects. That means each object will have its own local copy of instance variable. Okay, is this clear till now for everyone? What is constructor and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I have one doubt. Like, when we copy an object and the value of variables change, and for some cases it does not. Like, can you discuss those cases like of copying it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So how to create an object? We will create an object by using the new keyword, no, date d1 equal to new date of some, yeah, and you will call the constructor. So if you have if your class does not have any constructor, then JVM will give you the default constructor. Okay, here the in the, what happens here is like if my class does not have any constructor, then default constructor will be called, and the instance variables value will be set to some default values. So integer value will be set to 0, and float value will be set to 0.0 f, yeah, double value will be set to 0.0, something like that. String objects like string arrays, all those things, object type, those values will be set to null. So if your class does not have any, then JVM will give any constructor, then JVM will give the default constructor, and this default constructor will set your the instance variables values to some default values. Okay, okay, this thing we have already seen. Constructor as special functions, which, yeah, constructor overloading, that means you can have the constructor, multiple constructors in your class, like 0 argument constructor, 1 argument constructor, and 3 argument, or any number of argument constructor. So multiple constructors you can have in a same class. Why it is called overloading? Because you will have the same name for every constructor, no, same name as your class name, so it is called overloading. Same, yeah, same name but different signatures. Different signatures means number of arguments are different. So you can have 0 argument, 1 argument, 2 argument, that is like different signatures. Okay, a constructor can call another constructor, another one, using this. So if you wanted to call another constructor from a constructor, then you can use this keyword. So now specific, now if you wanted to call 0 argument constructor, then you can use this. If you wanted to call 1 argument constructor that take integer, then you can say this of 1 or this of 2, some integer you can pass and you can call. If you want to call 2 argument constructor which takes integer and 2 integers, 2 comma 3. So this is like, you can call this uh, uh, you can call another constructor from a constructor using this keyword, and you can specify the whatever which constructor you want to call by passing the arguments. Okay, if no constructor is defined, I have already discussed, default constructor will be queued. Okay,
Ma'am, excuse me.
yeah.
Ma'am, if you want to call a constructor within the constructor, so do we need to specify its name also?
No, I told no, this
That's
this
okay. This, yeah,
this, yeah,
this, and we can pass what are the arguments if it's
arguments, no,
required.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in practice question assignment related to this that we were discussing right now regarding constructors. Practice assignment question number
Can we
90.
do it? Yeah, just a minute, we
It,
will do it, yeah, like
it's very much related to it.
So, Milind, it's fine. We understand. We'll take all the questions. If our
Okay, fine,
problem
fine,
is,
fine,
otherwise we won't be able to finish it. Yeah. And we
fine, fine,
also
fine,
kind of, somebody earlier also asked, we kind of said we'll address it at the end. Okay, sorry.
fine, fine,
Yeah.
fine, fine. No
Yeah, Nalini, go ahead.
yeah.
Ma'am,
Just a small doubt, ma'am. Is there any constraint that if we provide a default constructor, then there must be a parameterized constructor? Is there anything related to this?
No, no. If you have default constructor in your class, you are asking like we must provide some
Parameterize.
another. Yeah, it is not necessary. You can have only default constructor in your class all as well.
Ma'am, I did not understand the use of this, like calling a constructor of our own class, or like what is
Yeah.
it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now you have some public date. This is constructor of some date class. Okay. Okay. Let us take this constructor is taking three arguments, integers only, x, y, z. So now I can say, okay, I can assign day equal to x. I should specify here what int x into y into z. I am not specifying. Okay, d equal to x, I can specify. I can assign value to day, and then what I can do is like I can say this of y comma z. That means I'm calling two argument constructor from three argument constructor. Okay, now what will happen is like public day here some value ab, it is like two argument constructor. So so whatever the values, like month will be assigned to a, and yeah, year will be assigned to b. So actually, if after executing the statement this of y comma z, this two argument constructor will get executed. That means month and year also will get executed. So basically, this keyword, this is used to call a constructor from another constructor. So inside this constructor public date three argument constructor, I am calling two argument constructor using this keyword and by passing the two arguments. So this is similar to invoking your method. So you can say add of 10 comma 20, or add of a comma b, something. If you have add method, you can pass two arguments to the add method, how many arguments, like based on that method, and you will call no same. Similarly, you also can call a constructor, this another any constructor from any other constructor using this, and by specifying the arguments, like how many argument, like if you wanted to call two argument constructor, you need to pass two arguments. If you wanted to call one argument constructor, then I can pass only one argument y. If I wanted to call zero argument constructor, then I should say this off. That's all. So basically, you can call another constructor from a constructor by using this
Ma'am,
keyword. Is it clear
zero
now?
parameter
Or
Yes, ma'am.
parameter मतलब zero constructor name means this will be a default constructor, right?
yeah, that must you. So if your class has any constructor, then JVM won't give default constructor. So you must have zero argument constructor also in your class. Okay, if your class does not have any constructor, that means there is no constructor, then only JVM will give the default constructor. If you have any, like here in currently you have this three argument constructor, no, from the three argument constructor, if you are calling this off, then that constructor, the zero argument constructor, must be defined in your class as well. That means the constructor without any arguments you must define in your class. So you can say just public date without any arguments, that does not any take any arguments, and you need not like you can perform anything you want, but here basically it does not have it is not taking any values, no. So how can you assign values? You cannot assign values. So basically you can say public date of something like this, and you can leave. Okay, but this constructor should be there in your class while calling it from another constructor. If you don't have this constructor in your class, the zero argument constructor in your class, the zero argument constructor, if you don't have, but if you call this off, then it will give compiler error, because there is no zero argument constructor. The thing is like JVM will give the default constructor only if your class does not have any constructor, but if it has any constructor, it won't provide the default constructor. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, if we don't have any constructors, so can we write this bracket no argument?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, you cannot call that constructor, because there is no such constructor in your class, right? In explicitly there is no such constructor you have written. So yeah, at the time you cannot call.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you can copy constructor. That means this basically used to create a new object from existing object. Okay, new object from the existing object you can create by using the copy constructor. So what does copy constructor do? So every constructor, this is copy constructor. Okay, every constructor name is same as your class name. This also has same as your class name, date, and this copy constructor will take another date object as argument. So you wanted to create new object of date by using so I have date d1 and date d2. Okay, new date of, now I have allocated memory and I have set it to some value 1, 11, 2, and that what some year 2022. Okay, this is d1. Now I wanted to create d2 by using d1. That means the values of instance variable of d1 should be also same, like day should be 11 and month should be 2 and year should be 2022. How can I do that? I can do this by using copy constructor. So basically copy constructor, so how will you do this? Date d2 equal to new date of d1, I can say. Okay, d1 so I am passing another date object here, right? So if you say date d2 equal to date d2 you have, and date d2 equal to d1 if you say, that means what happens here is like d2, for d2 you are not creating any memory here. For d2 you are not creating any memory. I will here use d3. Okay, for d2 you are not creating any memory. d1 has, like, you have created some memory by saying new operator, and it has some values of instance variables also, like 11, 12, and 22, these values also. But if I say date d2 equal to d1, that means d2 is pointing, d1 and d2 are pointing to same memory location. So if you change the values of d2 or d1, both values will be changed. If I say d2 dot day equal to 10, then both in both d1 day and both d2 day will become to 10. So if I say d1 dot day equal to 8, both d1 day and both d2 day will be uh, changed to 8. That means this is like memory, for the same memory you are giving two different names, d1 and d2. If you change value in any one using any name, the memory value will be changed, no, same thing. So this is memory copy only, date d2 equal to d1. But here if I say date d3 equal to new date, that means I am creating new memory for date. For d3 also I am creating new memory, and I have passed here d1, no. d1 is like this, it will call the constructor that takes date as argument. So this is like copy constructor that is taking date as argument. Here this dot day equal to d dot day, that means d3 dot day equal to d1 dot day will happen. So whatever the value of d1 day is taking, that value will be assigned to d3 dot day also same. So every value of instance variable will be copied from d1 to d2. So this is not same as memory copy. If you change d3 dot day to some value like 12, that won't change in d1. So this is not memory copy. You are creating separate memory for date d3, and then you are assigning each and every values to each and every instance variable. But okay, but here also, here these are like int and month and year, day, month and year are of type integer. These are primitives. Okay, so whenever you assign some values, new memory will be created for those things. But if you have some objects, let us take here some object as, okay, date object is taking, okay, let us assume like it is taking some object like uh, some array, it is taking
Maybe
array
day
some
name.
object
Maybe
of,
day name if we put like Saturday, Sunday.
yeah, some array, something like object array, if it is taking some array like object, if it has that as instance variable, while copying, no, if you say like, okay, some int array x it has, okay, while copying you will say this dot x equal to d dot x, you will say what will it will happen here. So this is object, right? This is object. So this is same as d2 equal to d1. So you are not creating memory for this object again, you are just copying the reference only here also. So that means if you have any objects in your as your instance variable, if you say this dot x equal to d dot x, then it also what it also affects both both objects, like for d3 and d1 also it also affects. If you change x in d3, that will get changed x value in d1 also, because it is an object. So simply you are assigning different names to the same memory location. So in order to avoid this, what you can do is like this dot x equal to, you can first create some memory for this this value, a new int array of some d dot x dot length. So whatever the value of length of x, like d will, so this object d has instance variable x, no, that x is like integer array that will have some length like memory size, right? You can first create that much memory size for your new x, for this current object x, and then you can assign values to each and every. So then you can first you will allocate memory to this, and by using the for loop, you can say for int I equal to 0 to some I less than x dot length, you can say I less than x dot length, you can say x dot length, and then I plus plus, and then you can say x of I equal to d dot x of I x of I d dot x of I. That means first you should create memory for that object, and then you should copy the each and every value to that memory. That then it is not same as your memory copy. Then if you change the value of x in d3, then it won't get changed in d1. So but if, yeah, this is because you have object as instance variable. So if you say this,
Ma'am, what
so date,
if we have just string? What will happen if we have just
sorry,
what will happen if we have just string?
if you have just a string, so
Uh,
strings are like immutable, no, strings are immutable. So what happens if I have string here, if I have some string s, yeah, just okay, just I will create something for better understanding, I think. Just wait, I will change class student, I will take and I will create one string name. Okay, string name, string is object, right? And let us take int age, but strings are immutable. I will show with but it is taking time, just it will take like 10 minutes only, okay, but I think it is important to know. Okay. So basically I have constructor, I'm assigning the values of your my instance variable. Okay, I will create now two objects of students. Okay, as we are talking about copy constructor, now you should have one copy constructor also, that takes student s, student s, and I can say this dot name, that means the current object which we want to create, name as same x as dot name, and this dot age as same as s dot age. Okay. Student s1 equal to new student of, I'm creating two objects of students. So by passing some name, Rahul, and age as 20. Okay. Now I can say student s2 equal to s1, I will say for now. Student s s3 equal to new student of copy constructor I am using here s1. Now I will print s1 dot name plus space plus s2 dot name, same thing I will do. S2 dot s3 dot name. So I am printing the names. So all we know, right, for primitives like integer, float, doubles, it won't affect because yeah, even yeah, okay, because they are like immutable. If you create, if you assign something, if you say int x equal to some y, for x also separate memory will be created and then the value of y will be assigned. So same thing for primitives, it does not affect, but the thing is if you have some objects in your constructor, then what will happen, something like that, no? Okay, I
I
will
didn't
check.
get it. What did you say?
Okay, previously what we have seen here is like, while in the copy constructor what we have seen is like, if you have some primitives, then if you change some values like, okay, I will write then one line here also to print what, better to show than explain, I think. So I'm printing age. Okay. Okay, first I will show without changing the values of like without setting them to new values, whatever the values we have, I will show that, and then I will change the values of instance variable and I will show. Okay, everywhere it's Rahul because yeah. Okay. So now what we have done here is like, we have created object of student s1 by calling two argument constructor. Here we have assigned name to Rahul and age to 20. That's all. And then we are printing s1 name s2. And then in here s1 name we have printed, no? So we got Rahul here first. And then here what you are saying, student s2 equal to s1. What I have told is like, here you have not created separate memory for s2. So what you are doing is here like, S1 and S2 are pointing to same memory location. So if you change the value of S1, both S1 and S2 will be changed. Okay, now I will say S2 dot name equal to some Meena or something, some name. Okay, now values of S1 and S2 will get changed, no? To Meena. S3 value also will be changed because we are creating S1 after assigning this to. Okay. So first what we have done is like
S3 will not
here
change because
change,
we have
because we have
yes,
done, we have assigned
S3,
it after,
yeah,
we have changed it after creating
yeah.
object.
I mean,
Yes,
after
yeah,
S3 has been created, only then we have changed. So S3
change.
won't change.
Yes, yeah. So first we have created object s3, and then so what happened here is like as s1 and s2 are pointing to same memory location, if you are changing the name of s1, if you are changing the name of s2, then both s1 and s2 get changed. But s3, for s3 what we have done, we have created separate memory for s3, like new memory for s3 we have created. And then we have what here we have done is like as this dot name equal to s dot name, so we have copied each and values of your instance variable name and age we have copied. But even though your string is an object, but it is immutable. That means whenever you change your string, whenever you change your string, then new string object will be created, correct, that are immutable. That means once you have created that string, you cannot change it. If you want, if you change that, then new string will be created because of its immutability. Even though, yeah, even though you assigned it directly this dot name equal to s dot name, that is not going to affect, because if you change that, then the new object will be created. If you change the string, new object will be created, so it won't affect in either, both of them. So for s1 and s3, different one will be there. Okay, but okay, let us see example of some array, because array is
Ma'am,
object.
can you assign S1
Ma'am,
to null?
given the time, ma'am, I think this is already discussed in some one live session that
Okay,
you are conducting
Okay.
okay.
uh, in
Yeah,
week two,
yeah,
I think.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I
Then yeah,
think
we'll
this
get.
will take too much of time going through all the demos.
Yeah, okay, okay, definitely. Then we can stop here. Then yeah, that's all regarding the copy constructor. Then
Guys, for this,
and then you have some, yeah, and then you can take. I'm just telling the like how to take input and output by using what scanner class. Using the scanner class, basically we use the scanner class to take the input. That's all. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you have any doubt regarding the copy constructor, actually this was already discussed by using some example. I think in the live session, tag live session, you will find by using the employee or something. Yeah.
Nalini,
Okay.
shall I proceed?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
In the example that you have shown, uh, we have a constructor, a copy constructor, and if we assign a new object without any parameter arguments, so in this case default values won't be assigned, no? Because we already have constructor, so default values won't be assigned. Am I correct?
Sorry, I didn't get. You are talking about normal constructor or copy constructor?
No, in the example that we just saw, where
Uh,
you,
yeah.
in that example we had two constructors.
Yes. One is copy constructor and one is normal
Can
constructor.
you
Two
please bring
arguments.
the screen back? Can you bring the screen back, please?
Yes, I'm doing that. Yeah. Yes.
So here we have one constructor with two arguments, one copy constructor, and
Yes.
no constructor without any arguments.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we have one more object creation like student s0, where
Hmm.
we declare it as student s0 equals to new student, just constructor without any parameters,
Okay, then you will get some error
we will
because
get an error. Yes, that was a.
yes.
Hmm.
Okay, you got, yeah, you will get some error. That's all.
Only why S1 changes to Meena? I'm just trying to understand quickly. If you can tell, if you don't mind, please. Why S1 got Meena as the name?
Because that is reference copy. I told no for S1, because here both S1 and S2 are pointing to same memory location. For S2 you have not created any separate memory. So for the same memory location you have given two names, S1 and
Okay.
S2. So if you change S2 name, so S1 name also will be get changed, no? Because two different names but the values will be same, right?
Okay.
Name,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have week 3 and week 4 also, no? That's why. Okay. Week 3. Yeah, Anand sir, I think you can continue.
Thanks, Neil. I hope my screen visible, right? Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me discuss week 3 now. So I will discuss lecture by lecture. So first lecture is about what is the difference between structured programming and object oriented programming. Okay, so this is a small theoretical concept. Okay, so here structured programming. So in structured programming, how we are going to accomplish a task. Okay, so in structured programming, first algorithms come first. Okay, this is the first step. So here first, whatever the task we have, okay, we are going to divide into smaller and manageable tasks. Okay, subtasks. So if you found these subtask is also looking big, then you can divide as its a subtask like this. Okay, so here design a set of procedures for a specific tasks. So here your task is okay, main task. Okay, here you are going to design a set of procedures. So here every subtask is a procedure, or we can also call it a function, or we can also call it module. Okay, you can term like this. Okay, so you can accomplish all these subtasks and combine them later to build complex systems. So this is the first step in structured programming. Okay, here algorithms come first. In this, okay, we are going to divide our task into smaller and manageable parts like this. These smaller and manageable parts are called procedures or functions or modules. Okay, so we are going to okay accomplish these subtasks and we are going to combine them to build okay actual task. Okay, next data representation comes later. Okay, so after okay, so after accomplishing this task we are going to represent the data. Okay, data representation comes later. Okay, for this design data structures to suit okay procedural manipulations. So this is the structured programming. Now object oriented design, this is a reverse focus. Here algorithms come first, right? So here okay algorithms comes in the second step. Okay, here first we are going to identify the data that we want to maintain and manipulate. Okay, so in lectures are discussed about order processing system, right? So there okay, so we can okay find out what are the objects required for the order processing system like accounts, items, like that. Okay, so we are going to okay identify the data, means objects we are going to identify. Next we are going to find out what are the operations we are able to perform on that okay order processing system like a place order, reject order, like that. Okay, so as a second step okay, then identify the algorithms to operate on that data. So just reverse focus. Okay, structured programming and object oriented design, just this theoretical part. Okay, next designing objects. So what is object? Object is nothing but instance of a class or blueprint of a class. So if you consider an object, okay, it has two things. First one is state. Okay, state. Second one is behavior. Okay,
Can you use some
second one is
different pen color? It's not visible.
yeah sure. uh, is it clear?
Yes, it's better.
Yeah, state and behavior. So state is represented as instance variables of the class. Okay, state is represented as instance variables of the class. Behavior is represented as public methods. Okay, whatever the public methods in your class, those are represents what behavior of the object. Okay, whatever the instance variables you have in the class, okay, those are represents state of an object. Okay, so according to encapsulation, whatever the instance variables you are defining in your class, that should be private. Okay, instance variables of your class, okay, should be private, means your state should be private. Okay, your state should be private. And if you want to operate on your, if you want to access or if you want to modify, okay, object state, okay, object state, you should not change state of an object directly. Okay, you should use, okay, some methods, public methods, okay, public methods to operate on it. Means if you want to access the state instance variables of your class, you should use public methods. And if you want to modify state means instance variables of your class, you should use public methods only. Okay, these public methods are accessor and mutator methods. Accessor and mutator methods. Okay, mutator methods are used to update instance variables of your class. Accessor methods are used to, okay, access, okay, instance variables of your class. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Next, inheritance. Okay, so what is inheritance? Okay, what is inheritance? Inheritance means here we are deriving a class from already existing class. Here an object is, one object is specialized version of another. Okay, for suppose here we have employee, okay, employee object and a manager object. Okay, or we can say manager class. So here manager class is a specialized version of employee class. Okay, here in inheritance, okay, we are going to use the existing functionality of, okay, another class. Okay, so here employee is a class. Employee class has, okay, two instance variables, name, salary. Okay, name and salary. And manager is also has same, name, salary. So apart from name and salary, manager has some extra functionality, some extra functionality. So here manager, okay, whatever the functionality is already available in the employee class, okay, we no need to redefine in the manager class. So simply we can use inheritance concept. Okay, we can use inheritance concept. We can use whatever the functionality, okay, available in the employee class into, okay, manager class, and you can add some extra functionality apart from the employee functionality. So that is what inheritance. Okay, by using inheritance we can reuse the, okay, functionality of another class. So here employee is, okay, employee is a class. It has some functionality like name, salary, and it also has bonus. Okay, bonus is a method. It is used to calculate the bonus of employee. Okay, so here manager is also, okay, need this name, salary, and bonus. Apart from this, okay, it has some extra functionality. So we can add this extra functionality to the manager, and simply we can, okay, reuse this functionality, whatever the functionality already available in the employee class, by using inheritance concept. Okay, now you tell me, here employee class is there. Okay, employee class is there. Here we have some functionality and class, okay, manager is there. Okay, manager. Now I want to reuse the functionality of employee in manager class. Now you tell me how to, okay, reuse this functionality in manager class. What I have to add?
Super.
I have to
Super.
extend the employee class.
Yes. So here you should, okay, extends what, employee, extends employee, in order to use what, this functionality which is available in the employee class in manager class. Okay, see here, subclass extends parent class. Okay, subclass extends parent class. Here subclass inherits instance variables and methods from the parent class. So whatever the instance variables we have in the superclass, okay, we have in the superclass, okay, and methods in the superclass we can inherit. So here subclass can inherit. Okay, here subclass can add more instance variables and methods. Already I told no manager class can add extra functionality apart from the employee class functionality. Okay, so you can add as many as you require, whatever the instance variables in your subclass. And if you want to add methods in your subclass, you can add. You can also override. Means, for suppose uh, in superclass we have one method. Okay, we have one method. So I don't want to use that functionality. I don't want to use that functionality. I want to use that method name with a different implementation. Then I can override it. Okay, for suppose I have display method. Okay, display method. In this I have some functionality. Okay, I don't want to use this functionality from parent class. Okay, but I want this signature. Okay, I can use this signature, method signature, and I want to modify the implementation. It is possible. That is called overriding. Okay, and subclass cannot see private components of parent class. Okay, so if you have private instance variables and if you have private methods in superclass, those are not visible to the subclass. Okay, next, use super to access constructor of parent class. Okay, we'll discuss about this one. Okay, yeah, so see here. So this is employee class. So here employee has what? Name, salary. These are what? State of an object. Already I told you instance variables of your class. Next here, this is what accessor method or mutator method.
Accessor method, sir.
Okay,
method.
this is what accessor. Yeah, accessor method. Okay, ACC method. And what is this set name?
It's a
This
mutator.
is
Mutator.
mutator method. Okay, this is accessor method, and this is mutator method. So these four methods are behavior of the what? Already I told no public methods. Okay, public methods are behavior of your class. Here, if you want to change the state of your object, okay, you should use these methods. If you want to access name and salary, okay, you should use accessor methods. If you want to update name, okay, update name or salary, you should use mutators. Okay, and here employee has bonus method. Okay, so bonus method you can calculate by using this what formula. Okay, this formula. And manager, okay, here whatever the functionality we have in the employee class, okay, so manager can use by using what inheritance concept. So we can extend this employee into manager class like this. Okay, now whatever the functionality we have in employee class, that will be inherited to the manager class by using this single sentence. Okay, now apart from this name and salary and bonus, okay, so now we are adding one extra functionality to the manager, secretary. Okay, secretary. Here we are setting the secretary and getting the secretary. So this is accessor method of manager class. Okay, for what? Secretary. And this is mutator method of what? Secretary in manager class. Okay. Now here bonus. Okay, so bonus here calculated by using this formula, right? Okay, for suppose if employee gets 10% salary, we should pass 10 here. Now 10 divided by 100 into salary. Okay, 100 into salary, he will get salary. How much bonus he will get? Okay, for suppose 20,000 salary is 20,000. Okay, how much and his bonus percentage is 10. Now you tell me how much bonus he will get?
2,000.
Okay, 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 he will get. Now here employee and manager both are different, right? So here manager will get 50% extra bonus, 50% extra bonus than the employee. Now you tell me this implementation is not not useful for this manager, right? Am I correct? Because
Yes.
here bonus is different for what manager and employee. So for suppose manager gets, okay, 1 rupee bonus. Now you tell me how much manager will get. 50% extra. For suppose,
1.5 rupees.
yeah, 1.5, right? Means here, okay, here 1.5 into, okay, bonus of employee, okay, bonus of employee is equal to, okay, is equal to bonus of manager. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. So here, okay, manager gets what, 50% extra bonus than the employee. Okay, if employee gets 1 rupee, then here manager will get 1.5 rupees bonus. So now you can easily calculate bonus of the manager by using this formula. Okay, now see here employee, okay, manager, okay. So here I'm using constructor, okay, to initialize name and salary of employee. Okay, next here we have bonus method. Okay, so here percentage by 100 into salary. Okay, already I told no this bonus. Now here already I told, okay, here, okay, so manager will get 50% extra bonus than the employee. So now I don't want to use this what functionality as it is. So I want to do some modification in the what manager class. So I'm redefining it. Okay, I'm overriding it. Okay, I'm overriding it. I'm using same what definition. See, public double bonus including with parameters. Okay, parameter also same. Okay, overriding. So here what I'm doing is return 1.5 into super dot bonus of percentage. Already I told no, if, okay, if employee gets 1 rupee salary, okay, manager will get 1.5 rupees sorry, bonus. Okay, if he get 1 rupee bonus, he will get 1.5 rupees bonus. Okay, now simply what I'm doing is, okay, I'm returning 1.5 into, okay, bonus of the employee. Okay, 1.5 into bonus of the employee. Here employee bonus, okay, employee bonus I'm calling by using super keyword. Okay, super indicates super class object. Okay, here super class is employee class. Okay, employee class. If you call super dot bonus of percentage, okay, so it is going to call this bonus method from the employee class, because super represents, okay, super represents super class object. So here we are going to call super class bonus, means employee class bonus. We are calculating employee class bonus and we are going to multiply with 1.5 to get manager class bonus. Is it clear?
Sir, one small query.
Hmm.
Suppose in this overriding method, if instead of float, as a parameter I pass int, then what will happen? Then it will also override or it will not?
No, no, no. Overriding means including parameters, and parameter types also should be same. Then only it is called overriding. So if
Okay.
you change it to int, then it is treated as overloading.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like, do we also have to mention at the rate override? Is it compulsory or is it like not necessary to write that?
No, no. Actually, if you write a program in Eclipse, automatically at the rate override will come. So if you remove, it won't give any error. It is not compulsory. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, it is not compulsory. Okay.
Sir, how long
Now,
will this session take more?
I can't say, but
Okay.
I will finish as early as possible. Okay. Yeah. Now, my question, my question. So I'm creating an object of manager like this. Okay. So employee, okay, E is equal to, okay, new manager, okay, new manager of, okay. So here superclass reference variable can hold subclass object. Okay, subclass object. Now if I call e dot, okay, e dot bonus, okay, e dot bonus of 10. Now you tell me which class bonus called. And if I call e dot display, okay, e dot display, now you tell me in both cases which class bonus called and which class display called.
Sir, manager.
So
Sir, manager.
See here, yeah, e dot bonus of 10, right? E dot bonus
Yes,
of
sir.
10. Here, e dot bonus of 10 means here bonus is defined in both parent class and subclass. Okay, parent
Yeah.
class and subclass. Now here employee is equal to new manager of. Okay, so here if you call e dot bonus of 10, okay, e dot bonus of 10 at the time of compilation, e dot bonus of 10 means e dot bonus of 10 is represents this one. It's a parent class. Why? Because here employee e, okay, employee e, this reference variable is, okay, of
of
type
the superclass.
employee, of type employee at compile time, at compile time, because
Hmm.
this objects gets created at runtime. At the time of execution, this object gets created and it is going to initialize in the reference variable e at the time of execution. At runtime it will happen, but at compile time no object will be created. Okay, no object will be created. So if you call e dot bonus at the time of compilation, it is refers to the, okay, bonus method from the parent class. Now at the time of execution, at the time of execution, okay, what happened? Okay, new manager, okay, now object for manager class will be created and it is hold in the, okay, superclass reference variable e. Now e dot bonus is refers to the, okay, bonus method from what,
Manager.
subclass manager, subclass manager. Is it clear? This is called a dynamic method dispatch. Dynamic method dispatch. So dynamic method dispatch, okay, is going to call an appropriate method based on runtime initialization of an object. Okay,
So is
And
this
dynamic.
if we
called
have to call, if we have to call the employee bonus, what would be the syntax to call at runtime? I'm saying.
Runtime by using this is not possible. If you want to call it in
Super.
subclass, yeah, super dot bonus, like
Yeah.
this you
Okay.
can call.
Fine. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
so is this called dynamic lookup? Like,
yeah, same like Dhanya ma'am already told, no, dynamic lookup, same like this.
so dynamic lookup and dynamic dispatch are the same thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now e dot display. Okay, in this case also, now you tell me e dot display at the time of compilation, it is refers to what, okay, parent class. Okay, now at the time of, okay, execution, okay, it is going to call display method from its
Okay.
subclass.
Yeah.
Okay, now here one more question. Now I want to set, okay, I want to set secretary. Okay, I want to set secretary. Okay, I have, see here we have set secretary, right? Now employee, okay, employee e is equal to new manager of, okay, new manager of, I have created an object. Now I want to set secretary. Okay, I want to set secretary. E dot set secretary, okay, set secretary of, okay, set secretary of some abc, okay, abc. Now you tell me whether it is possible or not.
It's not possible, sir.
Why?
Because the superclass doesn't know about the set secretary, right? It is
Yeah,
unique to the child.
yeah. So if it is overloaded in both, there is no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, if it is overloaded in both, for suppose this set secretary is also available in parent class, and if it is overridden in, okay, subclass, no problem.
No problem.
But here already I told, so if you write e dot set secretary, your compiler will check whether set secretary is defined in the parent class or not.
Hmm.
Okay, there is no set secretary method,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
definitely your compiler will okay generate compile time error.
Yeah.
Now what we have to do here?
I mean,
We have to typecast.
Yes, we
Typecast.
have to
yeah.
typecast it to what? It's a subclass
Subclass.
manager. So simply we have to typecast like this.
Yeah.
Okay, manager dot manager of E dot set secretary of ABC. Now okay, you don't get any compile time error.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
This is what typecasting to subclass. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So one question,
Yeah.
like when we write the keyword extends employee doesn't give us any benefits in the sense that in the week one, what Dynamum said, it's working the same way. So even if we add the word extends employee, doesn't add any other features. We have to access the variables and methods the same way, like dynamic lookup and all. So
I'm not get. Can you repeat once?
like I don't think like there's any benefit of adding extends employee, because even if we don't add this word extends employee, it still works the same way like in week one what we did. uh you know like it doesn't bring any extra features when we write the word extends, like because we have to access methods the same way like dynamic lookup and all like in week one. So what's the benefit of adding the word extends?
How can you use this employee class functionality in manager class without extending it? So you should
Employee
create
class
an
equals
you should create an object of employee in manager class every time, and you should access.
yeah.
How can it reflect manager class? If you create an object of employee, okay, and if you call set name and set salary, these methods, so it affects employee class, not manager class, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like employee equals to new employee, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the same way it works. Like
No, it's not correct. So if you extend, so whatever the properties we have, okay, whatever the functionality we have in this employee, all will be inherited to this manager class. So without extends, how can you use this functionality in manager?
super will only work if we write the word extends, right?
What super? What is super? Already I told no. Super
Parent class.
represents super class object. So if you want extends, how this employee become so super class for this manager?
Okay. Yeah, got it. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope this is clear, right? Yeah. So I discussed about this one also, redefining of bonus method and all, and the dynamic method dispatch and polymorphism. So polymorphism is nothing but what is polymorphism? Ability to take more than one form. Okay, ability to take more than one form. So polymorphism is achieved in two ways. Okay, polymorphism achieved in two ways. First one is method overriding. Already we discussed overriding of method. Okay, method overriding. Second one is method overloading. Okay, method overloading. Okay, method overloading and method overriding. So what is method overloading? See here, same method exists multiple times in many forms. Okay, same method exists multiple times in many forms is called method overloading. So in method overloading, method overloading, function name, function name same, function name same, but here the parameters should be different. Okay, so here we can overload a method using different number of parameters, different number of parameters. Okay, see here I have okay 0 parameters. Okay, here I have one parameter. Okay, here I have one parameter. So here number of parameters are different in this case. Okay, next second one, different different type of parameters. Okay, different type of parameters. See here, there is what? One parameter. Here also one parameter. Parameter number is same, but the type is different. Here we have what? Integer type of parameter, and here we have string type of parameters. Okay, parameter count is same, but the type is different. Okay, next, different order of parameters. Different order of parameters. Okay, different order of parameters. See here, int a comma string b. Here string a comma int b. See here, number of parameters are 2, and here also number of parameters are 2, and here int is there, and here int is there, here string is there, here string is there, but the order is different, right? Here the order is different. Okay, these three methods we have to overload the methods. Either you can, okay, either you can overload by using different number of parameters, or different type of parameters, or different order of parameters. In these three ways you can overload methods like this. This is called method overloading. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, method overriding, already we have seen, right? In method overriding, okay, so method name and here the number of parameters and type also should be same. Okay, and method overriding done in between what? Parent class and subclass.
Subclass.
Okay, method overriding possible in inheritance only.
Okay.
Okay, method overloading is possible in inheritance only. Okay, method overloading not like that. Okay, method overloading happens in same class. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so typecasting is also already I discussed. Okay. Java class hierarchy. Yeah, see here. Okay, so if you don't extend your class from any other class, so by default, okay, by default, what a parent class is object. Okay, by default parent class is object. So in object, okay, we have some predefined methods like equals and toString. Okay, so we have 9 public methods in the, okay, object class. So here this equals and toString, these are very two important methods, okay, in the object class. Okay, so if you want to compare two objects, okay, we can use this equals method, and toString method we can override, and instead of displaying hash code of an object, we can display instance variables of the class by overriding this toString method. Okay, so I guess this is okay, clear, right? Equals and toString method.
Yes, sir.
We have some examples also. So we have done some examples in Replit, right? And subtyping, so already Dhanya ma'am told, right? Subtyping, so for suppose A and B, okay, so A is subtype of B. Okay, now you tell me, so wherever B is required, I can use A. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if A is subtype of B, so wherever, okay, super type B is required, we can use A.
Yeah.
So here employee E at left hand side, okay, at left hand side actually, so employee, see, employee, okay, E is equal to, okay, what it expecting at left hand side? Okay, actually it expecting new employee. Am I correct? Okay, this object I'm expecting. Okay, but I can replace this super type with the subtype. It is possible. This is called subtyping. Okay, wherever super type is required, we can replace it with the, okay, it's a subtype new manager. This is called subtyping. Okay, next, inheritance, already I told, no? So inheritance means we are reusing the functionality. Okay, reuse of implementations or functionality. Okay, so we can use simply what, which keyword? Extends keyword, okay, in order to reuse the functionality. And if you want to override, you can override also. Yeah, next is Java modifiers. Okay, so private public already you know. So private means you can access within the class. Public means you can access anywhere. Okay. Next, static. What is meant by static? What is meant by static?
It doesn't require any object to.
Yeah, it
to
doesn't require any object to access. Okay,
yes.
apart from that, if you declare, okay, for suppose public, okay, static, okay, public static int, okay, int a is equal to 10. Okay, public static int a is equal to 10. Now this okay, static variable shared among all the objects.
Okay.
Okay, static variable, okay, shared among all the objects. Okay, any all objects can share this static, okay, variable. For suppose any object, okay, change the static, okay, static variable value that affects to all the objects. So here you should, okay, you should be aware of, okay, changing this value. So if you change the static variable value, that affects all the objects, because the static variable, okay, static variable is shared among all the objects. Okay, and if you declare any method as static, you no need to, okay, create an object to access it. So
Access.
you can access directly by using the class reference. Okay, class name, directly class name you can access it. Now what is final? Okay, what is final? Final means here it is used to, okay, restrict the inheritance. Means I created one class, okay, class my class, okay, class my class, okay. So here I have some functionality in this class, and I don't want to extend my class into any other class. Simply add final before it. Okay, final. Now if you try to extend this my class into any other class, okay, at compile time only your compiler will tell, okay, so this is final class, you are not able to, okay, inherit this class. Okay, and for suppose, okay, you have a class, okay, second, so I will take a notepad. Okay, yeah. So class my class, okay, so here I have one method, okay, so public, okay, void f1, okay, public void f1. So I have some functionality in this. Okay, next, public, okay, void, okay, public void f2, okay, public void f2. Now whatever the functionality given in the f2, okay, whatever the functionality given in the f2, so I don't want to override this method by the subclass. I don't want to override this f2 method by the subclass. Then simply I can make it as final. Now subclass can reuse this functionality, but it cannot override this f2 method. This f2 method. So final methods cannot be overridden by the subclass. And this f1 is there, no? Now this f1 method, okay, this my class, if my class is extended into any other class, now this f1 method, okay, can be reused by the its subclass, and it can also override this f1 method. Now in case of f2, subclass want to use this functionality, it can use this functionality as it is, and it cannot override. Why? Because this my class making this f2 method as final. So now subclass is not able to override this method.
So, sir, would we have to use the word super, or we don't even have to use super, and we can simply use it as is?
You can call directly using subclass reference, right?
Okay.
See, yeah, you can create an object of subclass and call it directly. Call directly this f2 method.
F2. Okay.
You won't get any error.
Okay.
Yeah, you
And
can
what
also
is it?
use super.f2 also. It is also possible. Okay. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Victor.
Yeah, and also like in what if we use final during like declaring a variable, like if we use final int a, so like what's the use of it?
Already Nalini ma'am told, right? So final, so if you use final before a variable, that become constant. Int a is equal to 10. Okay, now you are not able to change this value further, right? Okay, so when to make a variable as final? For suppose, so in for suppose you are writing a program, there you have int, okay, hours of a day. Okay, hours of a day. Now you tell me how many hours of a day?
24.
24, right?
Yeah.
24. Okay, so 24. Any other person, okay, come to this program. So for him also, these hours of day should be 24 only. For everyone, hours of day is what? 24 only. So in this case, you should make it as final. Okay, you should make it as final. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I move to week 4 then?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Week 4.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
if one method in the parent class is a static method, then we cannot override it in the child class, right?
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. I'll come to that. Yeah. So here, public static void f1. Okay, this is my class. Okay, class. Okay, child class. Sorry, class child class extends. Okay, extends my class. Okay, extends my class. Now, if you redefine it, okay, so you won't get any error. Okay, you won't get any error, but it is not okay, this is not calling as overriding. Okay, this is not calling as overriding. Why? Because here these methods are not binded to objects, these are binded to the class, because this is static, right? Static means this is not belongs to any object. Okay, this is not belongs to any object, and we no need to call we no need to create any object to call these static methods, right? For suppose if you create an object, okay, see here, for suppose main, so I'm writing in short. Actually this is assume like this is class main. Okay, so I'm not writing full. Okay, syntax of main method. Now what I'm doing is here my class. Okay, so sorry, my class obj is equal to new my class of, okay, new my class of, okay, obj dot, okay, obj dot f1, okay, obj dot f1. For suppose if it is, okay, if it is not static, okay, if it is not static, now you tell me, it is not static, which method is going to call? Which method is going to call at runtime? F1 method from my class or
My
child
class.
class?
My class.
My class or child class?
My class.
My class. Okay. Now, yeah, I'm changing it to child. Now you tell me.
Child class.
Then child
Why?
class.
Child class.
Why?
Because these are static.
No, it's not
Oh no,
static.
no, not static. Oh no.
So here, due to dynamic dispatch.
Yeah,
Yes.
dynamic method dispatch, because here it depends on the, okay, it depends on the object. Okay, it depends on the object, because this is non-static method. Okay, non-static method. Now if you make it as static, okay, if you make it as static, here here now is there any necessity of this one object?
No, sir.
Why? Because
Because
this is
bounded
this is
to only
not
class.
bounded to class. So if you call obj.f1, okay, So without second dot, it is going to call from its parent class, because here obj refers to which class?
My
Parent
class.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, my class, parent class. Okay, so here static methods cannot be overridden.
Okay.
Like, we can call F1 directly also because it is not dependent on object.
Yes.
Yes, we can call.
We can call child class
And
dot F1.
in main, if we have written child class obj equal to new child class, then it would have been called from child class, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, you're right. You're saying like this, right?
Yes, yes, I'm saying
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Even you no need actually. So simply directly you can call like this also.
Okay.
Yeah, that is also possible. This is also possible. Okay.
Yes.
So we cannot override static class and it will give a compile error, right?
Static class. Static method.
Method, yeah.
Yeah, you can redefine, but it is not called as method overriding. That is I'm saying. So if you redefine it, it won't give any compile time error, because this static method is bounded to my class.
My class.
And this static method is bounded to child class. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You won't get any error. That's for sure. Okay. Okay. Shall I move to fourth one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now abstract classes. First topic. Yeah. See here in abstract classes. See, sometimes we collect together classes under a common heading. Okay, so when to collect classes together under a common heading. So here I'm going to take three classes, three food order classes. See in this example. Okay, yeah, Swiggy, Zomato, Food Panda. Okay, now I'm a person, so I want to order a food. I want to order a food. So if I want to order the food, so I should I define a method, what food order method. So if I want to order from Zomato, here I should use Zomato object, and I should call Zomato order, because in Zomato class, so Zomato defined Zomato order method to get the food. Okay, now in main method, see, person is equal to new person of, I'm creating an object for person, and in person method we have food order method, so I'm calling that by passing Zomato object. Okay, now what happened, control will come to, now this Zomato is initialized with this Zomato object. Now Zomato order means it is going to call method from Zomato order. Now you will get food, you will order from Zomato, so you will get food from Zomato. Okay, now if I want to get food from Food Panda, now what you have to do, what are the required changes, can you please tell me? Can you please tell me?
Here we have to change to new.
Yeah. Here first, here
Okay.
in food order we should change it to Food Panda.
Food Panda. Okay.
Okay, Food Panda. Okay, Panda. Okay, Food Panda, Panda. Like this, I have to change. And in here also, in Zomato dot Zomato order is there, no? There
Yes.
I should change like Panda dot. Okay, Food Panda order. Okay, we should change like this. Food Panda order. We should change like this, right? Here, here we have to change. Here we have to change. Two changes are required. And here,
And here also we have.
here also we should pass what
New Food Panda.
We should pass new Food Panda object. Now if you want to get food from Swiggy,
Same.
Okay, here we should change.
Swiggy.
Okay, here we should change, and here we should change.
Yeah.
Right. Now what I'm doing is, all these classes I am collecting under a common heading called food order. All these are food order classes only, right? So that's why I'm creating food order class. Now I'm forcing every class. To extend this food order class. Okay, this class is normal class. Okay, so normal class. So it is food order, and it has one method order. Okay, so it is given some implementation. What is the implementation? Here you can order food. This is the implementation given by the superclass food order. Now this Swiggy, Zomato and Food Panda, all these classes are extended from what which class? Food order class, right? Now here we have one facility that, okay, base class can hold any of its subclass object. Am I correct? So in week 3, so superclass employee reference variable is capable of holding, okay, manager class object, right?
Yes, sir.
Now food order, yeah, food order is there. Okay, here instead of passing Swiggy, Zomato, Food Panda, simply I am passing food order. Okay, simply I'm passing food order. Now this order reference variable is capable of holding Swiggy object, Zomato object and Food Panda object. Why? Because these three classes are, okay, subclasses of the food order class. Okay, food order class. Now here I have to, okay, check. Okay, I have to check whether this order, okay, whether this order reference variable contains Food Panda object or Swiggy object or Zomato object. I have to check, right? I have to check. Based on that, I'm going to typecast it into, okay, particular, okay, child class, and I'm calling, okay, particular method. So if it is, if this order contains Food Panda, okay, Food Panda object, then I'm casting it to Food Panda and I'm calling appropriate method Food Panda order. So if it is Swiggy, okay, I'm casting it to Swiggy, I'm calling appropriate method, like this. Is it good practice? Every time we should check, okay, this order contains which object. Okay,
Sir, if
yeah,
we use dynamic allocation and function overwriting.
yeah. So here we should force every class to override this order, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then, okay, if any all classes has same order method, we don't have any problem. Okay, we don't have any problem. Why? Because, okay, so here every class has same order method. Simply we can say, okay, order dot order. Okay, order dot order. Okay, based on runtime initialization of this, okay, order class, it is going to call order method from that particular class. Okay, here we are not able to, okay, we are not able to force every class to, okay, override this order method. Okay, that's why what I am doing is, instead of giving this implementation, okay, instead of giving this implementation, okay, I'm giving empty implementation. Okay, empty method, I'm giving empty method. Instead of giving full of water, I'm giving empty water. Okay, instead of giving full of water with bottle, I'm giving empty bottle. Then they can fill with whatever they want. Okay, whatever they want. So simply I'm making it as abstract. Abstract means empty. Abstract means empty or incomplete. Okay, now if your class has, okay, at least one abstract method, then your class also become abstract class. So if you make it as abstract method, see in next slide we have it. Yeah, see, now here what I am doing is, here I am not giving any implementation for this order method. Simply I am making it as abstract. Abstract means incomplete or empty. Okay, it does not contain any implementation. Now whatever the class extends this food order, okay, whatever the class extends this food order, okay, if that every class should override this order method. Otherwise this class also become abstract class. So now we are forcing every class to override this order method. See, every class is, okay, instead of Zomato order, Food Panda order and Swiggy order, so all are using same method order. See, you ordered from Swiggy, you ordered from Zomato, you ordered from Food Panda. So in previous example, okay, the method order methods are different. In this case, order methods are same because we are forcing every class to override the same method order. Okay, now see here, we no need to check whether it contains, okay, which object, whether it contains Swiggy object or Zomato object or Foodpanda object. Simply directly you should call order dot order. Okay. Now you tell me. So here you are passing new Foodpanda. Now what happened? This order. Okay. This order is initialized with Foodpanda. Okay. Now order dot order means, now you tell me, order method is called from which class? Which class?
Food Panda.
Food Panda. Now, if I change it to Swiggy, simply, what happened?
Swiggy will be
Now,
called so.
yeah, this order is initialized with Swiggy and okay, order method called from order. This Swiggy class.
So dynamic dispatch will be used right here.
Yeah, dynamic method will be used here. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So can we define abstract class as a public also, like public abstract class like that? Can we define?
You can define, but if it is outside of this program, you can define it as public. Why? Because in your class, only one class should be public. Okay, whatever the
Yes, sir.
class has main method, that should be public, and remaining all classes should not be public. Next, interfaces. Yeah, see, interface. So in abstract class, we may have concrete methods also, but interfaces are purely abstract. Okay, so purely abstract means in interface, if you define any method, by default it is abstract. For suppose, see here, see interface A. So here you define like this, void show, right? So void show semicolon. So automatically your Java compiler is going to add what? Public abstract before this method. Okay, before this method. Okay, so in interface, every method by default what? Abstract. So interface is purely abstract. And if you define any variable in interface, okay, if you define any variable in interface, that is by default public static final. Okay, if you forget to add this public static final, automatically your Java compiler will add. See, in interface A, you have you have declared a variable, so without using public static final, see, you won't get any error. Here also you won't get any error. Okay, because your Java compiler, if it is interface, automatically it will add this public static final before a variable and public abstract before the abstract method, like this. Okay, and see, here we have two interfaces, interface A and interface B. So it has one it has one variable, and it has show method and it has display method. Okay, now class IMPL is there. So here in Java we are able to implement more than one interface. See here, class IMPL is implemented from both interface A and interface B. Now, whenever you implement any interface, okay, first you should override whatever the abstract methods in the interface. See here, in interface we have void show. Okay, void show. This is abstract method. Okay, and interface B you have what? Display method as abstract. Now your IMPL class should override this void show method and void display method. Otherwise, your class will become abstract. Okay, this is mandatory. Okay, you should provide implementation to the abstract methods in the interface. For suppose here class IMPL implements A only. Okay, A only. Now you tell me whether it is overloaded one or it is one class one method of this IMPL.
Own class of IMP also.
Yeah, own class of IMPL. So if you implement interface B, then you must and should override this display method. Okay. Yeah. So up to this clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, in the interface A, you mentioned only void show. Okay. And interface B, you are mentioning as a public abstract kind of symbol over there. So So why didn't you mention the same thing in interface A also, like public abstract void show? It's a void show method, sir, in the interface A.
That's optional. Optional.
It's
That is
it's
optional.
automatically done by the compiler.
So by default, it's abstract, right?
Yeah, automatically. Already I told no. Public abstract will be okay. Automatically added by the compiler if you don't put public abstract before the void show.
Okay, so there's a different method also we have, right? So default method also we have, right? Default show we can
Yeah,
use.
I will come to that. That's why I'm asking. Up to this
Actually, I
clear?
was confused with that thing. I thought that it is a default method. Actually, that's what I was confused with.
No,
That.
no, no, no.
So,
Yeah.
sir, public void display, is that allowed or not allowed? I mean, what we see over here, class IMPL implements A comma B. Then you
Yeah.
have mentioned public void display, but without any implementation.
Just I overridden, not given any implementation. You must and should override and you should write some implementation. Okay.
You what, sir? You must and should?
Here you should override this display method and later you can add some functionality here.
Okay.
To the display method. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
overriding is
any
mandatory.
any abstract class has to be overridden into the child class, right? I mean, that was the whole point.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So next I'm coming to next part, that is, see, so up to Java 1.7, okay, interface is purely abstract. But from Java 1.8 onwards, interfaces extended to allow static and default methods from JDK 1.8 onwards. Okay, so here in interface, okay, I will take. So I will explain lively, then you can easily understand. Okay. So from Java 1.8 onwards, yes. Yeah. See, here I'm going to take interface A. Okay, interface A. So and interface B. Okay, interface B. So here, for suppose if you declare void show, okay, like this, what happened? Okay, your compiler, okay, so it is interface, right? So it is interface. So automatically your compiler will add a public abstract before this void show. For suppose, if you declare an abstract class, okay, abstract class something A, okay, abstract class A, okay, and if you define so void something f1 semicolon. So interface, sorry, abstract class, okay, abstract class may or may not contain what abstract methods. Okay, that's why your compiler won't add any public abstract before what abstract method in the abstract class. In interface only, okay, your compiler will add public abstract before the what abstract method. Okay, is it clear? This one. In abstract class point of view, it won't add any public abstract before the abstract method. You should explicitly mention like this. So now, okay, error will trigger. Okay, but in interface point of view, so if you forget to put this what a public abstract before the abstract method, automatically your compiler will add. Okay, now see, apart from this what abstract method, you can also add default methods in the what default void display. Okay, default void display. So here abstract method is forcing its implemented class to override this method, but default method does not force okay its implemented class to override it. Is it clear? Here, whatever the default implementation given by the default method in an interface, okay, so if its subclass want to use this implementation, okay, its implemented class can use this implementation as it is. Okay, you no need to override this default method from the interface, but abstract method you should override. Okay, that is the difference between this default method and abstract method in the interface.
So we cannot leave the default method body like empty, right? We have to fill something, right?
Yeah, we have. I'm coming to that only. Okay, this is okay default method. As of now, I'm writing this is default method. Now my question, class, okay, IMPL, class IMPL. Okay, so here interface A and interface B. So these are okay. There is no relationship between this interface A and interface B, but here in IMPL class is implemented from class A and B. Okay, class A and B implements. Okay, here A and B, and both are has same default method. In this case, okay, in this case, your implemented class, okay, must and should override this display method. If it is this default method only present in the okay, present in the only interface A, then no need to override it. Okay, no need to override it. For suppose same default method is present in okay two interfaces, and these two interfaces are implemented by the IMPL class. Now your IMPL class should provide fresh implementation for this display method. Is it clear?
Sir, can you repeat again?
Okay, see here, interface A and interface B. These two has same default method with some implementation. Okay, default
Yes.
method A method. Okay, now here this default method is present in interface A and interface B. Now
Yes.
whatever the class implements both this interface A and B, okay, interface A and B, that class should override this display method, because this is okay present in both what interface A and interface B. So if you not override, so if you create an object for IMPL and if you call this display method, now you tell me from which interface it has to call. For suppose it is not overridden. Okay,
Okay.
for suppose it is not overridden in
Hmm.
IMPL class. You created an object for IMPL class and you called what a display method. Now you tell me from which class it has to call.
Yeah, it get confused.
It get confused. That's why we have a rule that okay, you should provide fresh implementation.
Okay.
So this means we have to override both the functions show and display in IMPL, right?
Yeah. In this case, yes, should override. Okay, show method, because it is forcing us to okay override.
Okay. Suppose if only A has that default method, then there is no need to override.
Yeah, yes. For suppose okay, this default method display is not there.
Present. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you don't get any confusion, so we don't need to even override.
Override. Yes.
But thing is, I mean, if there is
So
some
sorry,
kind of
if you can just explain once more, if you don't mind, please. The same example,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. See
Thank
here. Yeah. See here. For suppose this is default void display and this is default void F1. Okay. Default void F1. Okay. So now see, you no need to okay. You know already I told. So default method not forcing us to override this default method by the implemented class. Is it clear? First, default method not forcing its implemented class to override this default method. Now, IMPL class is not forced by interface A or interface B to override this display method or F1 method, because these are default method. Okay. Now, here, if you don't override what F1 method, sorry, show method. Now see, here show is defined as abstract method. Already I told abstract method should be overridden in the its implemented class. See, add unimplemented methods. So if I click on this, only show method will be overridden. See, only show will be overridden. Why? Because here abstract method forcing us to override the abstract method. Okay, not a default method. Okay, up to this clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one second. So here and then this is show. Okay, this is show method. Now see, if you create an object for IMPL, okay, if you create an object for IMPL and if you call F1 method, now you tell me what happened.
It goes to
Nothing will
interface
happen.
B.
It will
It will goes to
run the F1
interface
method of
B.
interface B.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will call F1 method from interface B. If you call display method, what happened?
It goes to automatically
Interface A.
Interface A and
Interface
display.
A, display. Now what I'm
If-
doing is
Okay.
here
both
I'm
the-
making it as also display. Now
Display.
you tell me.
Yeah, that's here the confusion will start.
There is a confusion, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in this case, subclass or implemented class should provide fresh implementation.
Fresh
for this.
Okay.
Okay. Here it should increase the visibility. That's mandatory. Okay.
Okay.
But
this
there's
is
one thing, sir. We are implementing this one in IMPL method only because we want to implement the display method from B. I mean, it could have come from.
No, so we are. Sir, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We are writing this statement in order to override the display function of A and B. That's where we are writing 16 and 17, right?
So both
in
the
order
confusions
to
of A and
avoid
B
the confusion. In order to avoid the confusion.
will create a local method of the same name.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have one doubt. Can I ask?
Yeah, sir.
Sir, here interface A has display method, B has display method, sir. So in this case, so we overridden this display method in order to avoid the confusion, sir. But I want to use the functionality of display method in A and B, sir.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking about. I mean,
okay.
So we will do the
So
typecasting.
object.a.display.
Yeah, object of A or object of B will have to access over.
No, object of IMPL.a.display will call from interface A.
Acha, class dot function.
One second.
Or class dot interface dot function.
Yeah. 1 second. So see here, actually, if you want to call superclass, superclass property, simply we are using super dot bonus like that we called in previously, right?
Yes, sir.
Same here also, but this is interface, no? Okay, this is interface, no? Simply a dot. Okay, super dot. Okay. Display. Like this, you have to call.
Okay.
Sir, if we want to call it from outside this class in the main, then object.a. something like that.
No, not required. Not required. Direct. Okay.
From outside this class.
IMPL.a.display, I think.
No, we have to create the object of IMPL. Then can we access A from there?
IMPL.
It is not possible like this directly. You should call in overridden display method only like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Should call in overridden method of display.
A dot super dot display.
And you can also call like this B dot.
B dot. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will create an object.
I will try that one.
Yeah. We'll get more clarity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
obj dot
A dot.
Why? You should call this display method.
This display
This method calling, right?
Okay, then obj dot
No,
display.
they were like just trying it if that is giving out result or not.
Yeah.
And
it will give
experimenting.
Yeah.
No, like obj.a. Display.
Yes, sir. Please try obj.a.display.
Yeah.
Because let's see if that is giving us access to that function over there or not. In line 25.
I got your point.
Yeah.
Obj dot
A dot display or
even it is not showing
A dot super display.
Obj dot
So like interface doesn't require
No super. A dot
A
display.
dot display.
A dot
Because
display,
How can you
then
call?
obj
Tell
dot
me.
no obj dot a dot display.
BG dot.
Yeah, I'm trying that only, right? A.
But
Yes,
sir,
dot
it
display.
is doesn't require us to make any
How
object,
No,
you
the
know.
object we are creating is of the class, no?
Class we have to create the object, right? How can we access the class then?
Yeah.
We
How
have
can you
created on the
access? This is
IMPL
illegal,
class.
right? This is illegal.
Like we cannot
Okay.
Okay.
access
This should be
method
used only for
interface
the
directly.
classes, not for the interfaces.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apart from this default methods, we can also write what static methods also.
Static methods.
Okay. Static void print. Okay. Static void print. Okay. Yeah. See, this is what static A method, and this is static B method. Uh, uh. Now there is no confusion. Why? Can you tell me anyone? In default method,
Because
there
we
is a
can use
confusion.
directly, can't override it.
We
Yep.
can use
They
directly like
bound to
a
only,
dot.
as classes, they bound to only interface.
Yes, yes, super. So here these are static methods. So these are bound to the interface directly, and we no need to create an object. Okay, we
Object
no
for
need to
that.
create an
Yeah.
object. Yeah, directly you can call a dot
A
print
dot.
and b dot print.
B dot print.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm calling here a dot print and b dot print. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Interface is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yeah. So next one is private classes. So here when to make a class as private. So see, in our class, so we are able to declare a method as private and a variable as private. Same like, okay, in a class, we are able to declare a class as private in another class. Okay, so I can make a class as member of another class. See here, public class book my show. So string user, int tickets, payment, all these are members of class. Am I correct?
Yes,
Members
sir.
of class. Same like how you are defining a member, you can also define a class as member of another class. Okay, of another class. So when to declare a class as member of another class as private. So I want to make it as private. When to make a class as private member of another class. Okay, that is the idea. See, public class book my show. So real time example. So I want to book a ticket. So book my show. This is book my show class. So this is string username or email ID and number of tickets. Okay, number of tickets. So after selecting the tickets, last we have to make the payment. Then only tickets gets confirmed. Okay, now here payment is separate thing, payment gateway is separate, entirely different thing. So here payment class is separate class, so it requires what card number, CVV. Okay, we have some more instance variables also. As of now, okay, I declared only two. Okay, card number, CVV. Okay, so this is sensitive information. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes,
This
sir.
is sensitive information or not?
Yes,
So
sir.
number,
Yes.
okay. So username, email, and a number of tickets. This is not sensitive information. But card number, CVV, this is very sensitive information. So if you declare this payment class outside of this book my show, okay. So anyone can access this class payment. Okay, anyone can access this class payment. See. One second. Week 4 vision. is. Yeah,
In
here it is. Yeah, see. Okay, here, okay, class book my show. So here string user email, movie name, and double amount. These are instance variables, and book ticket is a method. Okay, so here we are going to create an object for payment. Okay, whether payment is success or not, we are going to check it by calling make payment method. So if it returns true, okay, tickets gets booked. Okay, so here, okay, we have what make payment method in the payment class. Okay, we have sensitive information. Okay, so this is outside of the what book my show class. Okay, book my show class, you are accessing this payment class, and you are going to, okay, confirming the tickets after done the successful payment. Okay, now user ticket I have. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating an object for book my show class. I'm calling my show dot what book ticket. Okay, book ticket. So what happened in book ticket method? It is going to create an object for payment class, and it is going to call make payment. Okay, so apart from that, see, directly this user is accessing this payment class. See, payment is equal to new payment of payment dot make payment. He is also accessing, and he can also access, see, this out of, okay, so payment dot cvv. Okay, cvv and card number also he can access. See, is it correct? Is it good way to do this? So payment gateway you should not access directly. Okay, so if it is accessible by everyone, so this may you may hacked, right?
misuse them. Misuse.
Misuse. Yeah. So this is the problem. So if you here book my show class is completely depend on the payment class at the end. Okay, in order to confirm the ticket, okay, he should make the successful payment. Then only we should confirm the tickets. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, okay, I'm making this class as, okay, member of this class. See,
Okay.
private class payment. Okay, private class payment. Now only this book my show class is able to access this payment class. See, if you try to create an object of payment class, you will get an error like this. Okay, so here I want to, okay, made available this class only to the book my show class. That's why, okay, I am declaring it as a private member of what which class, book my show class is possible. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, in private classes, so private class, I mean, the inner class can access the enclosing class members and everything, but the enclosing class cannot access the inner class, right? There is
This
something.
one,
Yeah.
no, it can access, I guess. One second. So for suppose these CVV, right? So okay.
Saying
So
it should not.
one second. Payment dot see. We can access, no restrictions, because this is defined within the scope of
Within
class.
the scope. Okay.
That's
Okay.
what it can access.
Okay.
Inner class, okay, variables can be accessed by the outer class.
Okay.
And next one is interaction with state. So this is very easy actually. So see here, uh, this is student class. So this student class has what a student roll number, name, and age. Okay, so here three mutator methods are required to update what roll number, name, and age, and three accessor methods are required in order to, okay, access roll number, name, and age. So for every, okay, for every instance variable, we should create one mutator method and one accessor method. So totally six mutator methods are required. Now I created an object S1. Okay, student S1. So every student has different roll number, right? Same roll number or different roll number? Different roll number, right? So now I want to update name of S1. Sorry, name of S1. So I should call set name method. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Next, for roll number, set roll number. Okay, set roll number. Next, set age.
Yeah.
Okay, set age. For suppose in your class there are, okay, 60 students. Now you tell me.
60.
60 student means, okay, 60 into 3 is equal to
180.
180 times you have to call these methods. Okay, and if you want to access, okay, if you want to access this name, roll number and a name using accessor methods, you should require 160 into 3 is equal to 180 times we have to call. Okay, so instead of that, what I'm doing is, I'm, okay, instead of updating, okay, individual, okay, I'm updating as a whole. Okay, like this, public void set student. Okay, so roll number, name and age I'm taking as parameters. In this I'm going to write like this dot, okay, roll number is equal to roll number. Okay, next this dot, okay, this dot, name is equal to, okay, name. Okay, name, and this dot age is equal to age, like that. Now you tell me for S1, okay, simply S1 dot set student of, okay, set student of, here you can pass what, roll number, name and age in a single shot. Okay, in a single shot you can update, okay, total S1 details. Okay, now you tell me how many times we should call this set student method.
60 times.
60 times. Okay, this is the thing, very easy actually. This one, callbacks, very easy, right? What is callback? So callback method call whenever particular event is occurred. Okay, whenever particular event is occurred. Okay, yeah, see here, in order to explain this, see, yeah, this is interface notification. Okay, interface notification. Here my idea is, like, I want to get whether today is working day or weekend. Okay, working day or weekend. So based on the date, here I'm going to pass date object. Okay, based on that date object, your program is going to decide whether today is working day or weekend. Okay, and now you tell me what are the working days? Monday to Friday. Am I correct? Okay, Monday to Friday are working days. Okay, Monday to Friday. What are the weekends? Saturday and
Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Okay, Saturday and Sunday. So now here day, okay, day is indicated by 0, 1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, like this. So 0 indicates Sunday. Okay, 1 indicates Monday. Okay, next Tuesday indicates 2. Okay, Wednesday indicates 3, and Thursday indicates 5. Okay, Friday indicates, sorry, Thursday indicates 4. Yeah, like that. Saturday indicates 6. Now you tell me, when day is equal to either 0 or 6, then I will consider that day as weekend.
Weekend.
Otherwise I
It's
will
a
consider
working.
as
Working.
work. Okay, so here I have two classes, working day and weekend. Okay, these two are implemented from notification, so both are overridden what, notification
Notification
method.
method.
Okay, with a different implementation. Okay, so
Hmm.
today is working day, please stay on your work, and a notification here in weekend, today is weekend, enjoy the day. Okay, now here timer class is there, it will decide which callback method has to call from, okay, either working day or weekend. It will decide how to decide. So here
Based
first
on the
we
day.
are going to, yeah, first we are going to start the timer by passing date object. So
Okay.
now here timer class, okay, start method will call, Now the start method will decide which notification should call from which class. Okay, now how to get day? Okay, date dot get day. It will return, okay, it will return either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Okay, so if it is either 6 or 0, okay, if it is either 0 or 6, okay, now here I'm going to take one what reference variable notification. So notification, now notification is equal to weekend. So this notification is initialized with weekend if the day is okay Sunday or what sorry Saturday or Sunday, then I'm going to call notification method from weekend. Okay, else otherwise I'm going to call notification method from working day. Okay, here notification, okay, reference variable is initialized with any of its implemented class, any of its implemented class. Am I correct? You cannot instance you cannot okay create an object for interface directly, but interface reference variable, okay, can hold its implemented class object. See, either working day or weekend. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, actually we are not deciding, okay, we are not calling this what notification methods from working day or weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, timer is going to call particular
Mm.
event is happened. Okay, yeah, see where it is callbacks. Yeah, so now you tell me, if you execute this program today, now you tell me what is the output
This
if you
is
execute.
Saturday to weekend.
weekends.
Okay, once again. Today is weekend, enjoy the day. For suppose if you execute this program, same program without any modifications on Monday, now you tell me.
Then you will get the working day.
Yeah, so then you will get today is working day, please stay on your work. See, here callback method, okay, is going to call what appropriate method, okay, based on the event is happened. Okay, here we no need to call, okay, callback method, timer will call. Okay, timer will decide which callback method has to call from which class. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Next, last one, iterators. Okay, so iterator very easy actually. So I forget to discuss this iterator in week 6 content summary. Okay, no need to worry. So I will discuss this iterator content summary in next session. Okay, so I'm talking about week 6 actually. So I will discuss here in week 4. According to week 4, I will discuss. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so here actually iterator, okay, is used to loop through any data structure. Means here, for suppose we have a list. Okay, so in list we have elements like this 20, 30, 40 and 50. Like this we have elements. Now I want to visit each element in the, okay, list. Okay, so like this one by one I want to visit, and I want to get one by one element from the this data structure. Okay, whether it is a queue or list or stack, anything. Okay, you can loop through any data structure by using an iterator. Okay, so for that you should create an object of iterator first. Okay, so for suppose iterator object is it. Okay, iterator object is it. Okay, this iterator first it has to check whether elements are present in the data structure. Okay, elements are present in the that particular data structure or not. Okay, how to check? So it has to call has next method. So here I'm going to call it dot has next method. Okay, this has next method is going to check whether elements are present in the data structure or not. If elements are present, it will return true. Okay, it will return true, otherwise return false. Okay, if it dot has next return false, now you tell me what it indicates.
No
What?
elements are present.
Empty is, yeah, list.
Empty.
Empty. Okay. So if elements are present, you should call get next
Next.
method. Get next means what it will return?
It
Element at
will
the
spot
present
present.
location.
Okay.
Okay, present position simply. Okay. Now I want to get all these elements. Okay. How to write the code? So while it dot has next. Okay, it dot has next. Okay. Now SOP of system dot out dot println of it dot get next. Okay, it dot get next. I'm writing like this. Now see, it dot has next. What happened? Okay, iterator cursor will come to here. It will check whether element is presented or not.
Yes, sir, it's present.
Yeah, element is presented. So, okay, it will return true. So, loop will be executed. It dot get next. What happened? It will
20
return
will 20.
element at the current position. So, it will return 20. Again, okay, this loop will, okay, executed until it return false. So, again, it will call it dot has next. Now, your cursor will move to next position. Now, you tell me what it will return.
30. Oh, so
It will
next
return
position. Yeah.
yeah, it will return true. So it will now it will come to loop and it will get the okay element at the current
Next.
position.
Yeah.
So that is 30. Again it dot has next. Okay, it will come to this position, it will return true and it will come into the loop. Now
Can we go back also, sir? Can we go back also? Back element also?
then
Previous element?
previous element not possible, but we have okay predefined iterator, list iterator. Yeah, we should write the code. We should define our custom iterator if you want to do like that.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not telling it is not possible. It is possible. Okay, but we have to define our custom iterator. Okay, so this is forward direction. Okay, this is forward direction. So if you want to iterate in reverse direction, okay, you can define your custom iterator.
So has next and get next is predefined.
No,
Is that the case?
actually, no. These are not
Okay.
predefined. These are also
Okay.
user defined, but
Okay.
these two are okay traverse in the forward direction.
Got
That
it.
is
Got
I'm
it.
saying.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Okay, for
Is
suppose
there any implementation of has next example?
implementation. Yeah, we have to write this one.
So sample code,
We have
we asking for sample code. Can you write a sample code?
okay.
Yeah.
1 second. Dot iterator. See, here this is predefined iterator and it has next method and the next method, not get next. Get next is user defined one and here next is predefined one. So here by using iterator you can traverse in the forward direction only, and if you want to traverse in reverse direction also, then you should use list iterator. See here, if you want to traverse in forward direction, you should use has next and next. If you want to traverse in reverse direction, you should use has previous and previous. Okay, so you want a sample code, right? So second.
So these all methods like get next and whatever method. So they all are the abstract methods, right? So
Yes,
if you
abstract
want to
methods.
yeah, if you want to
Yeah,
use it, we have to write our own custom definition.
yeah, custom definition we have to write.
Yeah, so but so
This
if I write custom definition, I can do many things in that thing, right? So is don't we have any existing I mean functionality, predefined functionality what earlier somebody has mentioned?
yeah,
We can use that.
that's what I
Yeah,
want to show. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I want to show. Okay. Yeah. See here. So here, see iterator. See, this is predefined iterator. Iterator string. Yeah. It is equal to, now I want to traverse through this array list. Okay, so now list dot, okay, list dot iterator. Okay, list dot iterator. Now this iterator method, okay, this iterator method will return iterator class implemented class object. Iterator interface implemented class object it will return. We don't know. We don't know the implemented class of this iterator interface, but it will return it. Okay, and we are holding it in IT. Okay, previously you asked one question, right, sir? So we should define this has next and get next methods definitions, right? So here also list dot iterator. So whenever you call list dot iterator, what happened is it will return an object of, okay, this iterator interface implemented class object. Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that class contain, okay, that class contain what, implementation of this has next and next methods. See, now file it dot has next, sys out it dot next. Okay, it dot next. At the timing I will comment the rest of the code. Of the code I will comment it. Yeah, see, you will get one by one in which direction? Forward direction, right? Okay, so here has next is there, no? So open declaration, open implementation. See, yeah, see, this is the implementation of has next method actually. So iterator dot class is there, no? So it's implemented class. I guess this implemented class is available in the array list. This implemented class is available in the array list as a private class, as a private class. Okay, so this implementation is available in the what, implementation class of this iterator interface. Okay, so that class object we are getting by calling iterator method. Are you getting my point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now you want to traverse in reverse, right? You want to traverse in reverse, then you should use list iterator. Okay, let it be list iterator.
Sir, I think is it necessary for quiz 1 perspective, the traversing and everything?
Private string? I'm not getting.
From quiz 1 perspective, is it important for us to see the code and of reverse traversing?
We should not tell. So you should know everything. Okay.
Okay.
So see, by using list iterator, already I told, no. So we can traverse in both the direction, forward direction as well, reverse direction. So in forward direction, you should use, okay, has next and next methods. Okay. If you want to traverse in reverse direction, you should use has previous. Okay, has previous and previous. Has previous, previous. Okay, so it will traverse in the reverse direction by using has previous and previous. So I will do one thing. So I will use print only instead of println. So after printing every element, I will give some space. Get more clarity. See, India, Delhi, banana, orange. See, India, Delhi, banana, orange. So this is in forward direction up to this. Okay. Second, I will give some. See, here has previous and previous. Okay, these two methods are traversing in reverse direction. See, orange, banana, Delhi, India. Okay, so if you want to traverse in only one direction, you should use iterator interface. If you want to traverse in both the directions, forward direction and reverse direction, then you should use list iterator. Okay, these two are predefined iterators, so we no need to worry about this has next method functionality and the next method functionality, and has previous functionality and previous functionality. Just we have to know, okay, which methods are used to, okay, traverse in forward direction, and which methods are used to, okay, traverse in reverse direction. That's it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's okay. That's it. Week 4 also completed.
Yeah.
So where can I find this PDF?
This PDF I prepared, so I will confirm with Danya ma'am. So
Yeah, Anand,
if
yeah,
possible,
Anand,
we will. Yeah.
Anand,
Ma'am,
what is that? Yeah.
yeah, they are asking for this PDF, ma'am.
Yeah, we can share it.
This,
No issues.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can share.
But today so we can put in Discord. We'll put it in some drive and share the link in Discourse, because to upload in portal it will take time. We can put in some drive and share the link, the PDF link we can share.
Okay, ma'am.
And they had some questions in the assignments, right? Do you want to ask? Anybody wants to ask some assignment questions? We said we'll take it at the end, no? No questions in assignments? Okay. Okay. I don't think people have asked or left like this. Okay. So all the best. This recording
Sir,
will be there, but we will be uploading it. May not be able to upload it today. Tomorrow you have the exam, right? So we may not be able to upload it today because the studio team will not be available because.
okay. Sir, one question.
Yeah, Martha. Yeah.
Sir, Monday there will be open code session, right? And Tuesday you are going to discuss maps from the 6th week content.
Yeah.
Monday
Yes.
we have. Monday we have live coding for week 6.
Week
Right?
6, ma'am.
And the remaining, maps we didn't discuss, right? So that will be discussed on Tuesday.
No. I will discuss map for first 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So after that,
Okay, sir.
so I will discuss this iterator and list iterator also. So some students may
Okay.
not join today, right? So
Okay,
I
sir.
will one more time I will discuss this iterator, list iterator, and map. So it will take just less than 20 minutes only. After that,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, can you explain a question from the mock?
Yeah. Can you ask the question? Like we will see.
Yeah, the mock 14th question. Mock for quiz 1 14th question.
14th question. Huh? Let me see. One second.
Ma'am, do you have file, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm just sharing. One second. It's a callback question, is it?
Yeah.
Callback. One second. So, okay, just let me share the question. This one, right?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Wait. Wait a sec. No, not this one. I think.
14th question, huh? Sorry.
Yeah.
This is 15th.
Yeah.
So,
This is the 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the question?
Like I just didn't get the question properly.
No, I mean, you mean you did not get the question, meaning you have to find the definitions of these, right? What is it that you
Yeah.
did not get in the question? No, I did not understand. So do we have to explain why this option is correct? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Mhm. Yes. So,
think
Nalini,
the
have you
best
seen this question? Yeah, I was just
I
about.
think best way to answer this question is we have to eliminate the options one by one and then we will lead to the final answer. So
Yeah.
like we are using extends list. So we have to find wherever means it has to be some class. It cannot be some interface. Like that we have to eliminate the options and finally reach to the answer.
Oh, okay.
1 second. So
Actually, can you zoom, ma'am? Little bit
yeah,
as
that's what I tried zooming, but it's still coming. So. Nalini, do you remember this question we
yeah,
explained
yes,
last
ma'am.
time? No?
Actually,
Yeah.
I am
Just
checking
1 second.
that.
Yeah, 1 second.
I'm opening the portal. It's not opening.
Okay, so what you want to know is the definitions of traversable, by traversable, and the list, right? Okay. Okay. So when something is extending list, this list has to be class, right?
Yeah,
And by traversable has to be an interface, correct?
interface. Yeah,
Okay, that is clear, no? So you
yeah.
can now rule out those which. So here this option is not correct because this is an interface, right?
Yeah,
That's clear, right?
yeah.
Now the second option, traversable.
Second option traversable is a abstract class, but it has to be implements it's written. So that option is also eliminated.
Why is that wrong? Can you tell me once again?
It
Traversal.
traversable is also implements. I
1 second.
am sure that go up
Ma'am,
a
there
little.
is no implements or extends keyword used in between. Can you go to the option?
Options.
Yeah. Second option.
Sir, because this bi-traversal implements traversal. I mean, it's a two-level implementation.
Okay, if you go to the second option itself, that will be eliminated. Means it is saying that abstract class traversable and interface by traversable extends traversable. That
That
is
is
not
wrong.
correct.
That is wrong. Yeah, because you cannot, an interface cannot extend another class. An interface can only extend another interface. Yeah, so as,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get your name. Sushmita, you are explaining, is it? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So as Sushmita was saying, you have to rule out one option after the other by looking at. So here I said, so this is to be a class because of the extends keyword.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, as Sushmita just pointed out, interface by traversable extends traversable, meaning traversable has to be a class. I mean, that is fine, but an interface can only extend another interface.
Yeah.
And
That is also
interface cannot extend a class. So,
yeah.
which is the correct option?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not able to check the correct option. Anyway,
C
okay,
is
that
the
will
correct
come to.
option. C.
Okay.
C is the correct option.
Okay, so interface by traversable extends traversable, and traversable is an. So this is correct because interface traversable is extending another interface, which is correct.
Yeah.
So this is also fine. But here, let us see what is wrong. Interface. So Shweta, you want to try?
For the last option, public
Yeah.
interface by traversable implements traversable. It should be in like
Extend.
extend.
This should be extend. An interface cannot implement another interface. It has to extend another interface, right?
Yeah. So
And not just that, by default, this is an abstract method, right? So can we
yeah.
give abstract as what?
Yeah, that is working. I have pasted the code and checked in VS Code, but that is running. It's explicitly
So
write abstract. It seems what?
it's still working, is it?
Yeah, no problem
That's
with that, ma'am.
Okay. So by default, it is abstract, but you can still give abstract. Doesn't matter.
Okay, got it.
So the problem here is again by traversable is implementing a traversable where the interface can only extend another interface.
Extend.
If this is a class, then this is okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it.
So as she was saying, you have to check one option after the other and rule out what works. Okay. Any other questions?
Ma'am, after we stop the recording, I think it will be saved into Google Drive. Will you please share that link
So that will
instead
be
of
available
the...
on the calendar itself, course calendar.
No, ma'am, not the YouTube link. It's the drive. I mean the G
No,
Drive
no,
link.
the sharing the drive link also will be there in the YouTube. Sorry, the calendar link if you see that. Just check your
Oh,
calendar
okay.
for the past meeting also you will see that. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay, ma'am.
once it
Thank you.
comes, we will probably give it with anybody with the link can view access that we will change. But that has to come in the drive first and then we will change the link. Okay. We'll change the permissions. Only if we change the permissions, it will be accessible.
Ma'am,
Can we expect,
Yeah.
uh, ma'am, can we
ma'am,
expect the
Purneka,
same
one
question
second.
like they were in mock?
Sorry?
Ma'am, can we expect the same question in the quiz like they were mock? Ma'am, mock.
Same question.
Ma'am, similar question, ma'am, similar question. Similar type of question.
I cannot guarantee you anything. I mean, difficulty level will be the same. That is something we can assure you. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Even the topics may be different. Even the pattern may be different. But difficulty level, if you're able to do this within that 1 hour, right, then you're good to go. That's it. Yeah, Mehak, you were asking something.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, on Monday we have a live session at 6 p.m. Can you change it to 6:30 or 7 p.m. instead on Monday?
So we actually check with other teams also, and not just at ops team. And there are so many other constraints. Mehak. I'm not sure if we can postpone it. I'll check with ops team anyway. In all likelihood, it might be difficult.
Just by
I will
half
check
an
and let
hour,
you know.
please.
Sorry.
Just by half an hour, half an hour or one.
Yeah, it is half an hour. I understand, but if there are some sessions at 8 p.m., right, for other courses,
Yeah,
then somebody will start at 8 and all that. So there will be dependencies. That's my worry. If it's not there, we can postpone, no issues.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Sanjeev.
Just one doubt,
Yeah.
ma'am. It is doubt actually. If we divide an integer with an integer, then is it float or integer?
Can you try it and replicate or something? I mean, there are so many combinations which are possible. You will have to just try out all combinations. And it's not possible to remember also, right? I mean, these kind of things is difficult to remember. So the idea that you have to understand is if you are taking from a larger precision number, which is like a float and double. And so the precision of double will be higher than that of float, and that of float will be higher than that of integer. So
Yes.
whenever you have a higher precision number, which you're assigning to a smaller precision number, naturally some information will be lost. So this is the takeaway from this typecasting and everything.
Okay.
So based on that, you have to do the appropriate divisions. That's it.
Yes. So in
Got it? No. So if you are assigning some double to the integer value, then there is this precision loss. Because internally, if you see how these things are stored, right? So for integer, it uses say 16 bits. Then for float, it might use 32. For double, it will use 64. So naturally, when you're bringing the 64 bits to 16 bits, there will be information loss, right?
yes.
So if you want to know the precise result, like one double by integer, integer by double, double by double, integer by integer, all these things assigning say four types are there. You try for integer all these four options. For double, you try all these four options. Then you will get a clear, concise, an exhaustive answer to what the question that you're asking.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay then. Thanks everyone. So all the best for tomorrow's exam. Do well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best, all of you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Only we can stop recording.
Thank you, ma'am.